Coach, you know where I'm going? Mayo mustard ketchup. Black mustard, no onions, regular corn or two. Toad Bar, light mustard. The Texas toast.
TexasBigStar Live with your host, Brian B. Barrett.
Hello and welcome to Texas Big Star Live, broadcasting right here from the fabulous Horny Toad Bar and Grill in beautiful downtown Cranfills Gap, Texas. I'm Brian B. Barrett, your host, and to my left, your right on the screen is Matt Wallace, creator, curator, more than just a tour guide, he's the guy. He is Texas Big Star.
Just back off, dude.
Okay.
I am. I'm normally not at the front part of the show. I usually wait until I think I might help or I get bored or something like that. But I rarely start off the show. But there's a special thing happening today, and we want to get rolling sooner than later.
Right.
We want to jump right into a special guest we have that I've personally very excited to have on the show. Yeah. And he's not going to be able to hang out with us the entire time, so we want to get right to it to get the most out of this.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Our friend Board Gamer is in the UK, in England.
There he is.
Have we got audio working yet with you? I haven't heard you. There you go.
Wonderful. There you are.
We hear you fine.
Hello from the UK.
Hello.
Dude, okay, so here's the thing, Brian. I jumped in on the show because I watch this guy on YouTube way too much. Like, I'll be going to bed at night and watching these things he posts, and my wife's like, come on. I mean, she likes him, but I listen.
Whatever works for you guys. Whatever works for you.
So he's going to be with us, be able to visit with us a little bit today, and just want to get him rolling sooner than later. And everybody knows him online, especially the Star Citizen universe, as Board Gamer. You were Board Gamer before you were really focused on Star Citizen. Is that correct?
No, I was actually my gaming nickname was Monkey, and words involving monkey, like Uber Monkey and Monkey and just Monkey. Yeah, but then Board Gamer ever since the YouTubes.
So how'd you pick Board Gamer? You just that bored with it all?
Well, I actually get very bored with games very quickly. I play them very focused for a good few hours, like maybe 50 in a week, like solidly, like a job, and then burn myself out on them and then move on to the next game. And I do get bored very quickly and easily at most games. And I kind of experimented with games like Diablo 3 and heavily loot-based games where there's lots of variation for that sort of stuff, and they keep me interested for a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, Board Gamer was, I liked the idea. I liked the kind of branding that would provide. And I also wanted to do board games, and I probably will eventually on my channel as well.
Well, I always love that name, and it's easy to remember, and so that's what you go by. So do you ever tell anybody your actual name? Because I don't want to unmask you here. I was curious.
My name's Richards. It's okay. I don't. Since I was about 18, I probably haven't gone by my real name. It's always been gamertag. I've always been involved with esports and cyber cafes and gaming. So I mean, everyone calls themselves by their gamer tag, really.
Oh. Well, I'm glad Jake's going to join us because Jake is the guy who introduced me to Star Citizen. I guess it was Christmas of 2014.
Yeah, I heard all the talk about esports Diablo 3, and I was thinking to myself, I should probably go over and at least translate a little bit. So
now, this is decidedly not a gaming show.
Oh yeah,
but we talk about it. But a lot of people watching this don't know the first thing about your entire life when it comes to gaming.
Yeah, and a lot of people who are regular followers on YouTube who watch the show later are part of the local community here. And we live in rural Texas, so we are basically in this area the hub for gaming out at our place because we have one of our audio engineer who's not here, he and I do a lot of gaming, but getting Matt into the Star Citizen community was kind of a, and as well as most of the community does, the community around Star Citizen has roots in the original, old school computer gaming back when,
when
Wing
Jake
Commander
wasn't born yet.
Yeah, when I played Wing Commander recently, just to get my head around some of what the original
bearings.
Yeah, a little bit like that, and but introducing him, I actually heard about it my mom's brother was a big Wing Commander fan, and a couple of her brothers did, and he told me about Chris Roberts' new venture like 3 years ago, and slowly we started to get involved in it, and now. Have you've talked a little bit about what we're doing with the Mustang Intergalactic music videos and
Not on the show, but he knows a little bit about it. So.
Exactly.
I mean, this guy is so busy. I mean, the amount of content you kick out regarding Star Citizen kind of blows my mind. I mean, you have a special gift to take in a lot of information and then be able to present it back to people in a cogent way, rapid fire. And I've worked with a lot of artists. I've worked with a lot of people who are very, very gifted when it comes to singing and speaking and stuff like that.
I wouldn't see me as an artist. Please do not put me on a pedestal of that kind of level of content creator, of like a proper sing-song artist and stuff.
No, but I mean, there's the ability to spit out words quickly in an understandable way.
It's hard.
That is not easy. No. And I'm not saying
practice.
I'm not saying you haven't practiced and tried at it, but there's a certain level of just talent that you have to start with, and you got that.
Yeah, hours of debate club.
So I'm actually quite heavily dyslexic. I've always had problems like reading and writing. But for me, that's enabled my brain to be able to put stuff into lists and scripts a lot easier.
Right.
So now I can explain stuff to someone like me, which seems to be very good for news, which is why my channel, I think, is literally, it's been a massive benefit to me, being like that way inclined mentally, literally the way I order stuff in my head.
Right.
Actually been quite lucky with that. I think a lot of dyslexic people go on to be like quite good businessmen and quite good at management because the way their brains operate slightly differently.
Yep.
So
Fantastic.
overcome that makes, and I really never thought about it that way. So overcoming the dyslexia gives you a certain benefit, like the way that your brain works.
Yeah.
It helps you to put that stuff together. That I'd never even
Not
thought about that.
overcoming it at all. It's literally learning how your brain works.
Yeah.
And that's with like that kind of learning difficulty is literally, it's a learning difficulty because most people get taught in a certain way that dyslexics don't understand in the same way. Like they can be very kinesthetic learners, or they can be like hands-on or very audio based. Like for me, videos, I can assimilate videos so quickly and understand them. So for Star Citizen, that's great. There's loads of video content. I can watch it all and go, I understand this, and put it into a bullet point form and be able to explain it to someone else relatively.
Well, they spend a lot of time and a lot of money I gave them. they spend on subscriber content to help people understand what's going on, and they do a fantastic job. I love all those guys. They should keep doing it. But when it comes right down to it, if I really want to catch up on what's going on right now, I pretty much watch you, buddy. I mean, because you do a really good job of it. And this is, I guess that could look like a kiss up, but I mean, you're already on my show.
What are you kissing up for? Yeah.
So we definitely want to find out a little bit more about what you're doing, but first I got to check. Did you buy the new? I forgot the name of the ship. The stealth fighter, the stealth bomber.
Eclipse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eclipse.
Did you pick one up?
No.
It's a little pricey.
How much
it's
is it?
a single-seater bomber, and for that sort of stuff, and I'm going to go off on one very quickly. That requires support. That's a shortish range. It's probably quite long range for a single seater, but it's a shortish range craft. It needs support of other ships. What are you going to do? You're going to, I'm going to attack this capital ship. 3 torpedoes. Boom, boom, boom. I heavily damaged it, and now I've got to run away and reload. It's not a ship. It's not a ship that you can run around solo in. It requires a big team and coordination. And I would prefer my ships to be more solo. I mean, I'm going to do lots of group play, but anything that I buy, I want it for me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to
This is really great because our show, Texas Big Star Live, is, obviously because of the name, a way that we can talk about all the different properties of Texas Big Star. We've talked a lot about our other TV show that we work with Barry Clower and and the ranching stuff. We talk as much as we can about music. We have musical guests. Very rarely have we been able to make the kind of connections that we've wanted to into the Star Citizen community, even though what we're doing is more music-based. Being able to talk about, the theory behind why we're buying ships or playing the game or what we're looking forward to, we haven't had the opportunity to do that on the live show yet because most of the connections we've made have been, people who are very busy doing their own thing. They're off playing the game. They don't
Right.
necessarily have the same connection to the live show that we do with other properties. But hearing you talk about the stuff we talk about at Bar Citizen in Austin. So I don't know, have you been to any events that they've started in the UK?
What are you talking about? This guy's like been central to helping some of those events.
Because he knows a lot more about your background in the community than I do.
I watch you more than he does.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just happy
very
to be here.
orientated, and that's the reason my channel has grown to any state.
That's
is
awesome.
Because I've trying to get so involved with the community, because it's just smart. I mean, just trying to help other people, chatting as much as I can, trying to be as helpful as I can. We've got like BritizonCon that we run every year in the UK at the moment. Started last year. We just had the one recently. I think we had around 300 people turn up. Brian Chambers, a load of devs turned up, and me and I'm not sure if he wants me to name him on channel, but his gamer tag is Anton Kamala, and me and him started with John Lepage, the original BritizonCon, and then they rerun it this year. Me as as a guest rather than anything else, because they are so much better at running stuff than I am. I just kind of turn up and just go, yeah, this the bar, woo, the bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the community. That's what's got me into Star Citizen the most. I felt like I was part of something a lot bigger and more fun as a community. I felt like I was genuinely respected and wanted about the information that I was able to. Like my channel has made me relatively respectable, which is absolutely fantastic. And I never thought anyone would respect me for anything. But it's been absolutely fun. I love the community so much.
Well, hold it. On the Twitch chat, one of our viewers is talking about feeling a little left out from not knowing much about the game. And so if you don't know anything about Star Citizen, you just do a search on it. There's tons of stuff on the internet. You're going to find it.
You can go to robertspaceindustries.com and find out a little bit about that.
They've got all their overviews. Or you can go to YouTube and go to Board Gamer's channel, this guy's channel.
You've got
He's got
an
all
overview?
kinds of primers and stuff. Are you? Brits say primer, right?
I say primer.
You do say primer. Oh, good for you.
We invented the language, thanks.
Oh, he's going to play that card early on.
Early.
And as he should.
Who calls it? Who says
He's
primer?
talking to Texas.
There's people who call it primer.
He can say whatever he wants.
A lot
about
of
the
Brits
English
I've heard say
language.
primer, and I'm
Because
like,
we're in
really?
Texas.
So I just assumed it was a Brit thing. So evidently not. I'm happy to know that.
So,
My point is, you can go to his channel, and he's got like introduction to just basics about what Star Citizen is. So if you have any interest to know more about what we're talking about right now, he's a good source to go to, unless you go straight to Star Citizen's actual source site.
What I think is exciting about that is we would love to be able to interact with the community. We are not as involved in the community as a lot of people are, because what's really impressive is the community that's built around the game. It's been said over and over by the developers at CIG that they are absolutely blown away by how quickly the community started to organize itself, basically. And I'm sure there's plenty of, weird blind spots where people don't know each other, but the ability for people to connect around this game has been just baffling. And yet still, because of all the other media that we're doing and how we've got other things that we're not as involved in the community as we'd like to be, hearing you talk about why you'd buy a single seater over a different single seater is great, because we would love to have more people from the community as part of our show, just as much as we, are talking about the Music Quest YouTube that we have, and Bar Y University, and soon to be Texas Homeschooler. We have a bunch of different stuff that we're working on. But when it comes down to the nerdy stuff that we like to do behind the scenes, we don't get that on the live show as much. So it's just a breath of fresh air for me to hear you talk about it here.
It's okay, if you want your show nerdy, we can go that route. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, and what's great is because it's a variety show, at the end of the day, we're on Twitch. We have a lot of different people who have different interests. But what's really cool is that most of the people who stick around are really interested in whatever we're talking about. And at the end of the day, when we, do post-production, edit these episodes, and then put them up online, we want to be able to share them with the Star Citizen community, and this would be the first time that we have a legitimate reason to do that. So thank you for joining us today. It's great to get to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
So, like the whole game thing for me, you said earlier that you were a gamer and you get bored playing games. You obviously take them in very quickly. you can't get bored if you don't understand them quickly. So you get it, you're into it, you're a gamer. That's no doubt. Jake's plays a lot of games.
Yeah.
But I am not a gamer. By that
I think everyone's got a little bit of a gamer inside them.
Exactly.
A little bit.
See, I
agree.
Yes.
But my point is that
I get gamey after I work out.
he is pretty gamey sometimes. But the
I kind of roll in a little bit now. All forms of competitive sports, card games, everything like that. I mean, computer gaming is just a medium for gaming.
Yeah.
Sure. Like I love poker. I love. I like some sports. I've slowly gone off sports. Like I used to love American football and rugby and stuff like that. But I've gone off that slowly, more into PC games and actually poker. But everyone has that competitive urge in them, whether it's watching something competitive or getting involved and playing it. And there's obviously casual games as well, and sandbox and the social aspect, which is what I'm majorly into at the moment. But always a little bit of competitive nature.
Yeah.
well, we have a lot of different people who watch for a lot of different reasons. And like I said, I like the fact that we're not, in this particular show, we're not focused on any particular thing. We're just kind of rolling with what happens. We specifically have this show at 11:30 on Saturday during lunch here because there's a stream of people from all over. They roll in from, it's a biker-friendly bar, and a lot of people roll in here from wherever, have no idea what we're doing. Sometimes we grab them, they sit down. Some of our best segments were people we didn't know they were going to be there until they were on the show. And so there's all that kind of wild aspect. The other shows we're producing, that's another thing. But just the variety of it and just being able to talk about general stuff, we want people to see that people here in Texas are just people living their lives, having a good time, doing whatever. And when we bring other people on from other countries and we just kind of talk about whatever, other people get a glimpse into that, hey, everybody's just kind of out there living their lives, trying to have a good time, make a buck, you know.
It's Texas and UK awareness. I like it.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. I mean, we've got a guy in Pakistan that we're going to be getting on pretty soon. We have a friend that's been on a ton of our shows from Russia that, all the nonsense that goes on between the U.S. and Russia right now
last week
politically,
we had the
it's
two
just
on
like,
from
I
Germany.
Yes.
You talk to somebody who doesn't know any Russians, and their attitude about what's going on around is totally different. I'm like, I have a great friend in Russia, and he's on the show a lot, so it's just a lot of fun. So thank you for being part of that. I've been amazed at how few Brits we've had on the show.
Yeah, really.
I mean, it's kind of intrigued me because I thought I had a lot of connections there, and for whatever reasons, they haven't worked out. So your particular accent has not been a part of our show. Where's the guy from Jersey?
Particular accent.
Well, we've had a lot of different accents. So was it Jersey?
Yeah.
Is that actually is that its own country? Those the Isles down in the Channel.
I think they're part of the British Empire somehow. I don't know.
From yesteryear.
The Second World War.
We had a guy on from there. He just showed up in the bar and we grabbed him and put him on, and I'm not.
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting to hear his take on stuff. So Brian.
Yes.
Tell this guy what you've been learning about the Star Citizen.
Definitely.
And because we've thrown him in. I didn't really give him a choice.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is what we're doing. We're into this game, and I need your help. And he's been learning more about it. So you've been learning the lore, right?
I've been learning the lore, and it's ever expanding, seemingly, from what I could tell. And there's some great charts and graphs, because for me, it's harnessing the creative element in me to bring to life, in a way, what's going on in the game in a format that maybe no one would have thought of. I'm I try and write original music based on Star Citizen.
Yeah.
So we've had two songs to release, soon to be 3 and 4 actually.
Yeah.
About that, and they all have. It's based on inspiration from the game. So as a songwriter, it was the first time that I've actually had to write songs not from experience,
But instead from
a
prompt.
less
basically.
existential kind of a. It's like, okay, so I actually have to, a songwriter. You don't want to tell a songwriter, now go study this and write a song. What? It just needs to be emotive. It just needs to be inside of me. So But fortunately for me, I guess I love stories, and there's so many great storylines built into some of the campaigns that for me, I pick out, the characters, if I can, and people and places.
You're talking the war campaigns that are written into the lore.
And written into the lore, especially like one chart that I pulled up because I didn't know the names of planets. I was looking for a rhyme. I was trying to rhyme a line of a song. I'm going, it really needs to be, I know I need to talk about he's going here, and it needs to rhyme with this other thing. And so I need a planet or a system. And then I went, wait a minute. And as I get 3 hours later. What's that?
Just make one up. No one knows.
I know. Well, now I know. I'm just gonna contact you next time and go, hey, what rhymes with what planet rhymes? So, but as I'm digging, 3 hours later, I realized, well, I can't just name a planet. I've got to make sure there's a jump point there. And it's so
they all have jump points at some point.
Yeah, at some point. But the jump point has a name. But
the jump points. No, we had this conversation. Jump points don't have a name. It's just the ends of the point, right? There's no jump point names that I'm aware of.
So they may have names. I'm not aware of any jump points that have specific names.
Eventually, I bet you somebody names them.
Yeah,
they were named after. I know.
Astral things. They will have. They'll probably be named after.
The originator that discovered the wormhole.
So,
I know a few of them.
So did you?
Normally, the system.
The system they wind up at. Yes, that's right.
Did you ever play? And this is always a funny question in the Star Citizen community because it's a completely different kind of thing. But did you ever play EVE Online?
Yeah, loads. Loved it.
Okay, so EVE Online, and you can clarify because you've played a lot more than me. I've only played for a couple weeks, and I was like, I can't. It's like a second life. It is to do it the right way. You have to. It is a job that you go and do. Yeah. And but what was really impressive was that there's so much less fidelity in EVE Online, and yet there were still people coming up with like names for things, even local in organization, they'd come up with their own names for places to go and places to interact with things, and stories of people going out and doing things in this universe, and then obviously the big space battles that ended up costing real money. Yeah. To see the kind of involvement that required. I cannot wait to hear some of the stories that come out of the game once it's more expansive and people are able to kind of create their own narratives. Yeah. Because right now we're relying so heavily on the lore that is created by CIG, but once the game starts to happen, and CIG said that they're looking to pay attention to what happens in game and kind of keep that involved.
Well, there's no stopping it once they unleash
but once they unleash it,
what were you going to say, man?
Be so cool.
I would say it's got to defend Eve a little bit more here as well. So fidelity-wise, I mean, Eve is more of a space management almost game, the way that it plays out. But it is 14, almost 15 years old now. Yeah. And that game still has a huge community. Oh, yeah. It is the economy of it. A lot of it is what I'd want for games in general, for Star Citizen and that sort of stuff. Like, I loved the economy in Eve. I loved the mining. I mean, that was so boring when you think about it, but I like being able to...
But it was kind of cathartic. It was kind of like...
It was.
Yeah.
But working towards... I like toil. I like work for stuff.
Exactly. And but what I was... And I think that you hit the nail on the head. It's a 15-year-old game. The fidelity, the graphical interface you work with, it's very simple.
Pretty at the time.
And if you're able to do that, it's pretty, and it really is pretty in its own way. But what's so exciting is all of those things they're looking to wrap into Star Citizen, and yet with the ability to interact face to face with people, with the ability for so much more activity to happen. I cannot wait to hear stories of people going out and doing things. And there are already people writing stories about what they're going to do once the game starts. People are getting really excited about it. And
I think a lot of people are in love with the fantasy of Star Citizen. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, as long as they've curbed their enthusiasm a little bit.
Yeah,
a lot of
exactly.
Had this thing with No Man's Sky where they just assumed it was going to be the 100% best game ever. And it wasn't even advertised as that. And we in the community, or with people with any game, we get occasionally a little bit ahead of ourselves, like, we're going to have to do this and this and this, and it's going to be the most amazing thing ever, and it's going to be super fun and everything. And it probably will be amazing and super fun. But some people are in love with that fantasy idea of it. And that's great for videos and us talking about it now and getting some of those fantasies in games. They're still building it. But it's like, people need to curb their enthusiasm with certain things. Like
Definitely.
Just be aware that it's not the answer to all games, although it probably is going to be an amazing game.
Yeah. It's definitely what I try and get excited about is if they meet their minimum goal, if they accomplish just the minimum of what they're setting out to do, it looks like it could be quite fun, quite enjoyable, something that we could play for a long time. So, and I think you're right, because there are a lot of people who are like, well, what about if we did this? And then it's like, well, we're just going to get the game done first, just the first part.
That was
They're
my
gonna
first
keep working on
encounter.
it.
My first encounter with the community, being completely clueless as to how these kind of communities work, is that I saw the potential of the game, and I posted some stuff out there that I thought was art related, it was creative related, but it was not the core of the game. And at that time, in early 2015, all the stuff that we kind of take for granted now in the game had not been developed yet. And so what I was talking about was way too early and distracting. And that was one of the things, is like, hey, let's just get this basic stuff in place before we start talking about that.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of cool things that I think technologically are going to be possible. Hey, Richard, this is a friend of mine, Steve Harris.
Hello.
He just joined us.
I'm going to check the audio real quick.
Okay.
Jay's going to run off, but I thought somebody shows up online, it made sense for you to know who that was. So this is Brian, this is Steve, and the game is awesome, okay? You spend a lot of time on your channel talking about it, you're enthusiastic about it and all that kind of stuff. And I am not going to assume that you want to tell everybody a whole lot about your life, but we're also talking about just general cultural exchange. What's life like? I mean, where do you live? I mean, what are you willing? I don't want to get too detailed.
You can pretty much ask me anything. If I don't feel comfortable for some reason, I will talk about it. I mean, I'm pretty much okay with talking about pretty much everything.
So where are you? And do you do Star Citizen full time and you pay your bills with that?
Yeah, so I'm a full-time content creator from YouTube, streaming, Patreon, all that sort of stuff. And I also care for my brother. My brother's disabled and requires a modicum of help for quality of life stuff.
Right.
So the job that I'm doing at the moment with Star Citizen and YouTube and stuff is just fantastic for me, because I can work videos and streaming and stuff around everything else, which is just perfect for me.
Well, you definitely
really
earn
cool.
it. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, because I don't know how the economy actually works. We theoretically are studying it. We're trying to figure some of that out for ourselves. We're not ever trying to position ourselves as just straight up YouTubers. We're doing other things as well. But even though I theoretically understand some of how that works, I'm always just amazed that it's even an option. But I mean, the quality of stuff you produce is worth you being able to pay your bills with.
I would refer to my stuff as quite raw compared to a lot of people's, even much smaller YouTubers than me. They have a significantly higher production kind of quality. I quite like my videos being... So I do a reasonable amount of research before I do a video. I pick a topic on a day. I might have some planned topics for the week. I pick a topic on the day, make sure I've got all my notes on it, and then put it together, explaining it like I would to my mother or whatever, just to someone that doesn't understand Star Citizen as much as I could. And that just seems to work for content. But my production quality, I don't rate very high. And I appreciate that you think it's good, but I see so many other ideas and things that I would want to get into my videos, and so like just even better editing and cutting and special effects and stuff that I want to put in eventually. It's just at the moment that's difficult. I'm still learning my craft, and that's one of the reasons I love the fact that Star Citizen isn't a fully developed game yet. That's one of the reasons I love the fact that I can get in it at this early stage, understand its lore, understand the game, have an influence on that game, but I'm still learning my craft as a YouTuber. I'm still learning how to edit videos, how to do the audio properly, how to clean up things, how to make stuff look great, and as well as like kind of get involved with my community. I'm terrible at like organizing anything. That's one of the reasons that I'm glad I'm not involved with the organization of BrisbonCon anymore. Like those guys, they do a great job. I'd be all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is that you are obviously accomplished. You are way down the road, got your following, doing a fantastic job. As far as I'm concerned, the level of production you're doing is appropriate for what you're doing. And a lot of times, I mean, I hope you never fall into the category of the people who get on PowerPoint and think, look at, there's 50 million different transitions, and I'm going to use all of them today. And so,
Hey, what's wrong with that, Matt?
so
Now you're nitpicking.
But from a technical standpoint, we may or may not know how to do some things. But if we can ever help you in any way, do some research or just we've got
Appreciate
a
it.
lot of
I love
history with that, and we can figure stuff out and maybe help you find the right people. If you don't, but I mean, you got a lot of followers. There's lots of people.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people watching what you. If you ask, I bet you get a ton of people offering to help.
So I get lots of people trying to help when I don't necessarily
Oh yeah.
know what
Oh
I
yeah.
want as well. Like, no, I get lots of offers for music and visuals and stuff, and I don't like relying on other people. That's not like I don't want to put other people out either, and I don't really know what I want myself. That's the other problem. Like, when like, I've done this cool thing for you. I'm like, it's great. I don't know where I'd use it. I don't know. Now I have to think of somewhere to use it. That causes me anxiety.
You feel obligated.
Almost
Nice.
well,
Yeah.
I don't really
Somewhat.
feel obligated to do anything. That's
Yeah.
one of the-
That's good.
I don't really
That's
feel
definitely
much
good.
levels of shame, and I'll happily say to someone, "Nope, can't do that."
Right.
Or no, that doesn't work.
Which
But-
brings me to my point. I've got this song for you.
Oh, no, I'm sure. Yeah,
you
I'll
don't
find
have to
somewhere
use it. I mean, I'm a sensitive though to I can't handle that kind of rejection.
I think the song is probably so good that I'll just keep it for my own personal use. I don't want to share. I don't want to share it with other
Let it,
people.
well, as long as it inspires you.
A collector of fine art. Yeah, no one else gets to hear it. It's just
Right.
ours. No,
Okay.
the
I have a question for him though. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This is kind of selfish on my part. I want some insight, and I'm going to put you on the spot because it's easy to think that you may not be able to answer this. But the last video we produced was just fun. It was a dancing video. The guys are out there on the platform dancing to a tune, and it's called Space Fleas. And in the
Real
middle
silly.
of it,
yeah.
he makes a reference to, it made my face turn blue, and now I'm seeing space whales too.
Yeah.
And in the back, in space, very, very lightly, there's a whale behind the platform, breaching. It's very subtle, and I think it came off really, really well. But
Wait a
nobody
second.
seemed to notice it. None of
Wait.
the comments.
Hold on. I didn't notice it.
Ooh,
I gotta what? Are you kidding?
we should start a thing
Did
now.
you
It's in there.
superimpose something?
Are you kidding me?
YouTube.
That's the best joke in the
my
whole
gosh.
thing.
Subtlety. There's nothing. When you do something, you can't really be too subtle about it. Like I used to talk about references to really weird stuff at the beginning of my videos or during videos, and people didn't get them ever. So I've just been much more obvious with things.
Right.
But I mean, it's just like
Where is this?
it's in the song when he says,
It's
"And
in
now
there.
I'm seeing space whales
kidding.
too."
Yeah, the lyric is.
Okay, so what happened was you started.
You
to edit-
haven't even
You
seen it.
started that editing.
Oh.
He started that edit before I went and left for a week-long shoot, and I got back, and he goes, "Hey, did you watch it?" I said, "Yeah, I liked it," and he said, "Cool," and we went and we moved about our business. We didn't
gone
talk
on.
about it at all.
I thought it was awesome, and nobody
super
seemed
subtle
to,
then.
It's not that subtle. I mean, you can see it.
It is a whale.
I'm looking.
It's a whale.
it is
so
a
You
let's-
whale.
need to put in the comments. Did anyone else see the whale?
No, I didn't. So I should.
you should have done that. There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. So I mean, so my question though was not about specifically that. My question is that I don't read everything, but ever so often I get the feeling that there's some people in the community that are aggressively against the people making jokes about space whales being in the game. Is that true? Nobody cares? I mean, have you experienced?
Okay, so there is terminology that's used on Reddit and forums which can relate to trolling and trolls as well. So there's lots of stuff going on. And now if you're just like, you're not super deep into the community and you make a joke, someone might find it offensive because they think you're referring to something else entirely.
Okay.
That's all it is. So space whales can relate to someone that has put a lot of money into the game and is used commonly as a...
I didn't even think of that.
It's just used commonly in trolling, and lots of people that will go on Reddit or go on the forums will mention something, and someone else will just assume they're trolling, and then it becomes a bit aggressive. Well, not aggressive, but a bit sort of like
I never even thought about that. That's super interesting.
Yeah,
That's
internet
what-
communities are interesting. There's an entire you really do have to learn quite a bit about certain internet communities to kind of get a grasp on the way that certain people react to things because
Reddit especially has its own etiquette.
oh yes,
I
did not see. I'm not kidding. I did not
It's
see the
back there
whale.
now. I'm
It is.
seeing
I see
space
it.
whale.
I see it now. So,
It's
yeah.
like my favorite part of that whole video.
And I didn't even see it.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's real subtle.
Got to be more obvious.
With those kind of communities as well, a lot of people are totally anonymous because they're just basically a name on a screen. But YouTubers and content creators and streamers and stuff, people know them, so they can make jokes much more freely without it being sort of like, oh my god, this guy's a racist or a troll or something like that, because people know their personality and they know the sort of context that it's said in, the tone that it's said in.
Yeah.
Whereas if you say anything online, people don't know how to judge that tone and will not always, but 90% of the time assume the worst.
I think
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
One of the reasons.
Sorry, Steve's gonna go eat.
Steve's
He's
gonna go
coming
grab
back.
some food.
No, it's right.
That's one of the reasons why writing space whales into the song, we have that ability to do that because we're creating something where it's obviously silly to start with. No one's going to misinterpret that as, oh, they're messing up canon. It's like it's a freaking joke.
If you said it now, though, if you said that like literally within the last 3 days, it would get a lot of upvotes and people would be very with you because Jeremiah Lee, one of the concept artists, was talking about space whales.
Yeah.
And they had a live stream where they were trying to concept a new creature. And he was like, I want it to be space whales. So loads of people were talking about that. And it's become something else. And it's when you just are dipping in and out, especially when you're with these hardcore communities, which kind of assimilate all the information constantly and are always up to date. When you dip in and they say something, it can be taken the wrong way. And that's the problem with internet communities in general, though, that some people aren't moderate about what they're thinking. They always think the worst or can think the worst. Not everyone's like that at all, but you'll get vocal people that are like that as well.
They tend to be more vocal when they think the worst. So, I mean, the thing is that in our particular case, I'd love to hear what they're thinking because in my space whale case, it's a real whale. There's no design to it. It's just like what you see coming out of the water. But no, I have to figure that out. But apart from space Star Citizen and space games and stuff like that, just have you ever been to Texas?
I haven't left the country that much. I've been to around Europe, but pretty much nowhere other than that, really.
If you were able to come to Texas, is there anything you thought would be fun, or is it a place that scares you and you would stay as far away as possible?
So I actually suffer from quite bad bipolar disorder and anxiety issues.
Uh-huh.
I talk about mental health as much as I can. I think mental health, the taboo of talking about it should be kind of lessened somewhat. I think men should most certainly be able to talk about all their mental health issues in the same way that you should be able to talk about their physical health issues. So I have random panic attacks. I don't like traveling, but occasionally I think that sort of idea is great. And I do want to start traveling a little bit. And I do want to go to like citizen cons and stuff like that are in America. There's the Austrian studio as well.
Yeah, that's not far from us. We're about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go visit there.
I've been there a couple of times, and they're super nice. I think you would really enjoy that.
Yeah, it's just so yeah, I love the idea of traveling sometimes, and other times it terrifies me.
Well,
you are welcome. We'll take care of you here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd if you do decide to ever come, we will definitely meet you wherever you decide to fly in. And
At some point, almost certainly, I will go and visit the Austin studio.
fantastic.
So when I do, I promise that I'll come to see you guys if it is at all logistically possible.
It is definitely possible. We have a friend that's chatting with us right now. We're hoping maybe coming to see us in a couple of months from a little northeast of you.
Yeah. Well, no, normally we don't get a chance to do as much interaction on Twitch because we've got stuff going on during the show.
Sweden.
But
Norway.
Yeah, Norway. Yeah, he's from Norway.
Yeah.
So normally we would say, hey, thanks for the host, Board Gamer, but he's with us here. He hosted us on Twitch, so thank you for doing that.
Oh wow, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You have like real followers.
I'm not that big a streamer, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's
Well,
more the YouTube.
no.
One thing, we don't like to assume what people do on a regular basis, but we would love to have you, depending on what we do with Mustang Intergalactic, as things continue to progress in the Star Citizen community, we'd love to have you back on. But one thing we definitely do want to do is, as we have more of the Star Citizen community as part of our live show, and as we interact with them on YouTube and on Twitch, I need to do my homework so that we can share information in the appropriate places, because right now we don't have any Star Citizens watching right now. Everyone in chat are friends of ours who have watched before. They're like, what are they talking about? Why aren't they talking about Bar YU? And why aren't they playing pool? Or, I need to do my homework on the appropriate and healthy way to reach out to the community and say, hey, we've got Board Gamer on. We'd love to have y'all watch the show, to introduce people to the community, because like you said, what we're trying to build is a community that revels in the variety of what we're doing, but also can find other people who, like what we're doing with the Star Citizen community. And we're very new to that. So I'm going to have to do my homework to find the appropriate way to, next time we have someone on, if you're on the show again, where to blast out what we're doing, because,
The whole thing with Star Citizen for me is that I personally come from a technology background. I mean, I graduated high school the year that Tron came out. And I early on, I did 3D animation when Babylon 5 was all on Lightwave, and I was doing that kind of stuff. And my degree is computers. I've been following this kind of technology and have envisioned virtual reality type stuff for a very, very, very long time. And I think Star Citizen is positioned to break a lot of technological barriers that would not have been broken otherwise, just because of the vision that's in part of that game. And I think the impact of it's going to be fairly substantial. So I'm intrigued by just how they're surpassing these challenges they're doing. The gaming's cool. I think it'll be fun to run around with your friends and do stuff. But just the technology they're doing, it just blows my mind. And,
so it's kind of the opposite for me. I'm all about the gameplay, the economy, the gameplay, that multiplayer aspect, that social aspect. I love the fidelity and the quality and the technology, but that's almost second place to me. And I know that for Chris, it was the vision of the story, the fidelity of the quality of graphics, and then all these mechanics that allow that fidelity to come to pass. But for me, the gameplay trumps all by far. And it's so important to me. Like, otherwise I'll get bored. I'll be like, well, this is very pretty. I'll just watch other people play it. It needs to have that gameplay and those hooks for me. So desperately. And that's what I am going to try and hammer home with the platform that I've got with my YouTube channel. It's not just because I want to make money from YouTube and stuff. I cover Star Citizen because I want to have a positive impact on that game so that people get their points of view across, but also I get the game that I want.
Oh, definitely.
But see, the thing about it is hopefully an encouragement to you, and you know this, but the way I look at it is that the technology that's exciting me is going to create an environment and a possibility that will enable gameplay that is not possible in other games, and that goes hand in hand with what's so exciting to me. It's like I said, not as a veteran gamer who understands what, quote, real good gameplay is. I just think what they're creating technologically enables things that you just could never do otherwise.
And we've got some people talking in chat who might not be, might not have a understanding of what Star Citizen is, but and just as an introduction for them, what is so cool about the way that CIG, and they have had hurdles the entire way because of the way that they're producing this game, the way that they're developing the game with as much as they can an open communication with the people who are backing the game. I mean, they were shooting themselves in the foot to begin with, but they have stayed vigilant because they know the downsides of doing it that way. And they're trying to focus on the strengths of that and really, really watching them interact and being able to go to Bar Citizen in Austin and talk to Tyler Witkin and for him to sound legitimately excited outside. There's no cameras, there's no microphones. He's just sitting there talking to me, and he's like, hey, I played through the beta of Squadron 42, and let me tell you, I'm freaking excited. And to hear him say that and to listen, and they're listening to people like you who have you've got a finger on the pulse of a lot of your viewers and a lot of the people who are involved in the community, and they're listening. And that to me is so exciting. And And it's a double-edged sword because there's a lot of the community who takes that as an opportunity, and it's rough because when something doesn't go well for CIG, they get hit hard, and it's immediate because it's not secret. They're trying to put as much as they can out, and there are some people who say that not really. They're just playing that card, but I don't think that they can with the way that they've been communicating so far. I don't think they can at this point really hide too much because they've benefited, I think, in a lot of ways from the community.
The other thing is you've got all these people, and there's a lot of money floating around, and so a lot of people take shots as how that music. I don't have any idea how it's being used. All I do know is that it appears that when you engage some of the people, the developers or the community, there's such a genuine level of passion for exactly what you're talking about, building a legitimately awesome game. Yes, you're getting a cool job, you're getting to do things that are really neat, but at the core of all that seems to be a real honest heart for really developing something. There's a passion for it that I think is attractive to me. So I don't know. I think I don't want to hold you too long. I know that you said you have schedule stuff, and I'm not trying to run you off. I'm just saying that I am super. No,
we don't want you to feel like you have to stick around just for the whole thing.
I promised this guy I wasn't going to keep him too long. Is what I'm saying.
But we would like you to stick around if you want to,
if you can.
15 minutes. 15 minutes.
That sounds great. Thank you for the follow, UINS Star Kit. The host has got us one follower, and that is super appreciated.
Thank you very much,
considering how small of a Twitch channel we are at this point.
Yeah, we're not looking at the numbers online. We're trying to get our content tight, figure out. People ask, what are y'all trying to do? And we're like, we're trying to figure that out ourselves. Yeah. I mean, you got to play with stuff, figure out what works. I mean, would you be willing to share some of your aha moments as developing? I mean, what you're doing and what we're doing is very different. But nevertheless, it's the idea that you're learning as you build. You're learning as you engage your audience. And I would love to have an audience the size of yours someday, but I don't know that's going to happen. So what are some things you learned along the way when you were building your channel?
That it takes a relative, for what I wanted to do, it's not based on any form of excitement factor. So I specifically had to find my niche, find what I was good at as a content creator, and then kind of push that, and then get good with SEO and advertising of my particular product, which was obviously my videos and my videos here. So I embedded myself into the community as much as I could by going on everyone's stream that I could find and becoming helpful and known on their streams. I tried to help as many other content creators as I could. And for that basically started to build up a community. And then I started to kind of question my community at length about what sort of stuff they liked and didn't like, responded to all of the feedback that I could, and went, well, I'm relatively good at news. People seem to watch this. People seem to watch my information breakdowns. So I just kind of pushed on with that. Finding a niche, and then getting good at advertising. So advertising now in the modern world isn't just sort of like posted up everywhere. It's all about keywords, tags, descriptions, how Google finds it, all that sort of stuff. And that is actually what I'm quite good at. I am very good at working out keywords and what's going to be searched in the future and how it all integrates together and to get more views. I always see all my stuff as like middle of the road content wise, up until relatively recently when I realized that I was one of the only content creators actually doing some of the stuff that I do. So it's irrelevant what the quality is. No. It's but my SEO, my ability to understand the algorithms behind Google, actually quite good.
Well, I was looking at your channel, and I was got a question. Have you ever taken any of your videos down, or you left them all up? Because you've got over 1,000 videos on your channel. I was just curious.
I took 200 down.
You've taken a couple down, so that's a pretty good chunk.
200, and it's all ones that were based on really random stuff for like Diablo 3 and games that I did when I first started that are no longer relevant to my channel. I will probably, I've got them all still. I will probably like move them over to like a Board Gamer Extra channel or something, so that if I do get larger and people are like, oh my god, I want to see some of his first stuff. Oh my god, it's awful. That there is some way to see that, because it's quite nice to track that sort of stuff and go, look where I started.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted you to hear this as well. We would love to have you back in the future whenever your schedule allows, and we can talk about other stuff. But if you know of any other people there that you run with, friends that are good on YouTube video, know technology pretty well, and that might enjoy hanging out and talking Texas stuff or asking questions, or may come see us or may come with you someday, make sure you introduce us, because like I said, we really enjoy talking to as many different cultures as we can. Like I said, I feel like we've really had a UK deficit. I mean, I've been in the UK probably over the years. I've probably spent like 5 weeks in London. Been to Scotland a couple of times. Been to Birmingham a couple of times.
Birmingham,
down on the southern
home of
coast.
Jeff Lynne.
Yeah, I went to. We got a picture in our bathroom. We have this little portrait we got in Robert Page hometown. So it was kind of fun. But the thing is that I've got a lot of connections and friends there, and for whatever reason, none of them want to be on YouTube. None of them want to do this.
I'll poke some of the other YouTubers and content creators I know. Like I help run the Redacted content creator group for Star Citizen.
Yeah.
And I literally encourage all of the guys there to get on as many podcasts and things as they can, because it helps their exposure.
Well, it's just fun, and like I said, you can see that we're pretty loose here, and we can talk about whatever. We've been talking about Star Citizen because that is the connection, and we would like more people to know what we're working on, some of these other things. But really, when we're on these shows, it's more of like, hey, where are you from? What are you doing? What are you interested in? And we ask kind of more cultural questions, so we haven't really done much of that. So, do you have a brother? You have other siblings? You got 2 brothers? So they all live there relatively closely?
So one of my brothers is currently, he's just got back actually, but he's going back out again. He just goes to travel the world at the moment. Uh-huh. He's exploring like wild China and North Korea and places that are exciting and dangerous. He did a pilgrimage from Spain to Italy, like a really long pilgrimage route. And he was like, it was hell, but I loved it, sort of.
Wow.
That you could say
He's one of those hikers that...
really recent for him to start this. Like,
really?
He needs a hot ash stove.
He does.
Yesterday at my house, Steve, the guy that was sitting here earlier, was going through his trip up Kilimanjaro with my parents, and how all that went down. And he's been traveling all over the place, and it's fun to talk to people that get around. I mean, they tend to have some interesting stories, to say the least. So where do you live again? I mean, generally, I don't want to get too specific, but...
South of England, like the middle South Hampshire.
Okay.
So how far are you from Battle?
I don't know where that is.
It's down on the south coast, right on the coast?
Near
Near the coast.
I'll be near it if it's on the south coast.
All right.
So
are you directly south of London?
Southwest of London.
Okay.
So my wife and I were at a conference one time at a place called Ashburn Place. That's right in that kind of general area. I've got to find it. Oh, sorry. I'll shut up.
I don't know where anything else is in England. And then only a very small area around my house.
All right.
I got you.
All right.
So we would love to have you back on the show, and
if you would like to be. I mean, obviously, this is all elective.
You've emailed a little bit back and forth with him. I'll love to get your contact info, and I'm just looking for more opportunities to include the communities that we're trying to engage with.
Come up with ideas. I mean, if you ever come up with some like crazy idea storyline, maybe Brian will turn it into a song. I mean,
why don't you get your communities to help write the songs?
What we're doing right now is we've got a couple ideas that we wanted to start with so that we could kind of figure out how we wanted to go about producing these things, because we're recording, doing all the videos and the video capture from the game. There's a couple of situations in which we're looking at maybe incorporating some green screen, but we haven't even done that yet. But one thing that we are about to do, and we haven't talked about this publicly yet, but we've done kind of more of a generic action hard rock song that we're gonna do some recording on in the coming weeks.
And Jake doesn't know that he's going to actually sing the chorus of that song.
Right. Well,
It's the first time he's heard this.
everyone's hearing firsts today. So, but we're trying to find the best way to reach out to the community. We would like to take video from a bunch of different people and credit them and put together a compilation of different people's first-person shooter game from Star Marine. Yeah. And we want to put together like a first-person shooter kind of like it's a way to involve the community. We have original music and do put something together that way.
Or we talked about this as well. Do you know of any groups like little crews that run around that are really good first-person shooters that we could like join up with them and go videotape them doing their best?
Yeah, I know a few of the guys that are reasonably good at the FPS stuff, and I know a lot of the great dogfighting guys.
Yeah.
Like the top tier guys there. I know some people that are pretty good at the first person shooter stuff. I mean, how good are you talking? Do you?
Well, when I say good, that's just about anybody because they're better than I am.
Just
I
better,
suck.
better than him with a mouse.
I know people top 100. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
so
yeah.
if we could make the kind of connections, honestly, like what I said, as we have more people on, I've got to do my homework to find the best way to engage the community. But for this, we've got this song. We're going to finish recording it. We would love to make those kind of connections to meet up with people like that and include them in the production and then credit them and talk about
what I would envision is if you could find 6 or 8 guys who play together a lot, who really know how to work as a team and usually kill more than they get killed, that kind of thing, and then them hook up with them and then join them and say, hey guys, y'all protect me. I'm the cameraman. I'm trying to get really cool shots of you guys, and literally just run around and shoot video of them doing what they do well.
You've got to be in the mix with them.
And we can also do we can also set up a private match and include as many people as we can, and unequip a gun and run around as the cameraman. And we can talk on Discord.
The other stuff we've done already, especially the Space Fleas video, is that people don't realize you still have to go through the same steps that you would do in shooting a regular music video.
Yeah.
We had 3 guys on a platform. You had to get them positioned in the right place. They all had to dance at the exact same time. And the cameraman has to know where they are, and you move around. And it's just like you call action. They do the scene. You shoot it.
Yeah.
You back up. It's just like a regular music video. It's just all inside the game. And so if we had some people that were particularly
we need some
shooters,
good extras.
We need some good extras that can take a good headshot.
Wow.
So I mean, like, here you are, your camera's right on their face, and you're like, all right, shoot them.
That kind of stuff.
You capture it, that kind of stuff.
The camera controls for Star Citizen are probably the best.
Oh yeah. They've really improved them.
It's been a great improvement, but
it still work though. I mean, you still have to script it. You still have to get right on it.
Yeah.
Even more so now because there's so much more available to you.
Yeah,
so you're
exactly.
Like, well, now I want this shot like this because I can do this now.
Yeah.
Right. So if you think of it, if you know of a crew that are good and communicate well and would be open to that kind of stuff and introduce us to us, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
because we would
we'll
go
shoot
in
you some emails
and do a private match and just go shoot the stuff, and that would probably make for a better video.
Yeah.
I mean, most likely.
But like you were saying, once we've done this a little while and we've got an idea of how we want to do that, then absolutely we would love to work with the community if there's any songwriters out there who don't necessarily have the skill set that they need to make it come to life. We're very young in this. We've only had our Twitch channel up since January, and we're very, very interested in engaging the community and working with people on a regular basis, finding a way to really encourage that kind of communication, because we're very new to it and we're not as involved in the community as we'd like to be because we're pretty busy doing other stuff as well. But it's a great step. You've been emailing with Matt just to get to meet you and talk to you.
I've been trying not to bug the guy.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I mean, I want him
Everyone's
to like
busy.
us.
So it's all good. Feel free to email me whenever. Genuine.
All right.
Awesome.
Well,
you're not never bugging me. I'll just ignore the email.
I know. I never know. I'm just like, am I bugging them too much? Not that you've been very responsive. I'm talking about other people. So
thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great.
Thanks for being with us, buddy.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. So have you done any of this with multiple people on microphones? The video company. It took us a long time to figure out how to make this work technically. because we're in a very loud bar, and we can hear you just fine.
I've been in a few podcasts before, but I like the setup that you've got.
That's
Fantastic.
fantastic. Yeah.
That's
Literally
good.
in a bar. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And like we said, if you end up coming to Texas, this will be a stop.
I will at some point, certainly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. We'd love to have you. So you have a good day, buddy, and
Thank you very
take
much
care.
for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Please message me, email me.
No.
Bye.
Yeah, we'll be in
Bye.
touch.
We'll put all your links and stuff up on the show as well. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Bye bye.
And we'll also make sure to send you links after we do the post production. We'll send you links to the edited clips so you don't have to send them a 2.5 hour video.
Thank you very much.
True.
Take care.
See ya.
So.
You're a nice
Hey,
guy.
look! I'm on the cast. That's not it. So, I'm gonna put you here,
Okay.
if you don't mind, and yeah. So, oh, hey, this out of here.
All right. Ooh.
I've been looking forward to visiting with him for a very long time,
I could tell.
and I'm happy. That was good.
Yeah, it's not every day that we get someone who's got that type of notoriety in a certain community that shows up on the screen, and it's not every day that we get someone with your notoriety
Oh, please.
that shows up here with us. Steve, welcome.
Well, thank you.
Welcome,
Just
welcome.
Happy to be here in Cranfills Gap.
It's I get to see you about once every 2 or 3 months. We pass each other while we're hanging out near the studio out there, and on our busy taking care of business kind of stuff. But Matt wrote a question of the day.
Uh-huh.
Today's question of the day. Did you see what that says? It says, "What kinds of things do you learn when you encounter other cultures and other places?" And I kind of went, okay, let's go with that. You've seen this show.
I've seen the show.
We just flow and we go. We go with the flow and we flow with the go. And so maybe just refresh some folks, even me, how much that you have traveled or where you've gone, some interesting places. How much do you travel?
I travel as much as I can. So I probably do between 8 and 10 international trips a year.
Wow.
It's
that's
almost one a month.
almost one a month.
Yeah.
Every 6 weeks at the least.
Yeah,
International trips.
international.
Is this stuff on a bucket list? Is it something I've got to go there now and I put this? Are you
Yeah,
trying to knock out as many as you can?
I'm trying. It's not really on a list, but I am collecting countries. So I've got 72. Been to 72 countries.
72.
72.
72 countries. Wow. Do you collect magnets?
I
There's a
don't.
refrigerator. Are there that many refrigerator magnets?
There probably are.
You're a silver spoon guy?
That's exactly.
You know how
plates.
people collect
The little-
plates?
plates along the top
Oh, yeah.
of the wall.
Yeah. What else are the things that people collect on their travels?
Snow globes.
Yes. Yeah. There was an actor, Corbin Burnson. That collects snow globes.
Yeah.
He was on Psych when finally finished their seasons. For 7 years he was on Psych, and they just did a special I saw on the channel a few years ago, and he has walls of snow globes. I don't know what I would collect. Guitar picks or something. I would finding music stores.
I just decided not to collect anything because then I move a lot, so you gotta drag all that crap around.
Yeah.
So I do pictures. So I've got
On your
tens of thousands of pictures.
Right. Yeah, and you archive those and have to find a place to put those where you can find them handily. Do you now when you're traveling? You travel much more than I do. What kind of things do you learn?
So when I travel, I usually do Airbnb as opposed to a hotel, so you can be in a neighborhood, and you do a little research and figure out what neighborhood you like, and so I usually try and meet people at coffee shops. That's always the easy place to meet folks.
Sure.
And surprisingly, there are a lot of places in the world where there are not a lot of black people. And so I find that...
Really?
Really, it turns out.
Welcome to Cranfills Gap.
So, yeah, exactly. Look around. And so I find that it's actually pretty easy to start up a conversation with people.
Right.
Because they will often ask me things, where am I from? They don't normally guess the United States.
Really?
And so for a lot of the world, the United States they think of the United States as white people, and so they don't guess that for me at first.
Right.
But the things you learn are sort of, people are trying to live their lives just like we are in the U.S. and you see that there's more than one way to do lots of stuff. We've gotten really used to seeing, how the world works from an American point of view. But other places in the world do stuff very differently. And since I do coffee so much, just the way other places make coffee is so very different than in the U.S. Lots of places, we do giant cups of coffee.
We do coffee jacuzzis.
Exactly.
Is what we do.
And this is actually unusual for the world. Most of the world does the espresso and the tiny cups.
Yeah.
And that is a cup of coffee. And our tendency.
Right.
My own tendency, and I had to overcome this when I would go places. They give me this tiny little cup of coffee, so I had to drink 6, and then you're just lit up. You're just fired.
See, now you're talking my language. My wife and I owned and operated a cafe for 5 years, something like that. And when I started off, I was really into coffee, so I had a four group La Marzico espresso machine, and it was one that came from Starbucks. When they went to their super auto, push one button and grinds it. So they were getting rid of these espresso machines. And the Marzico is it weighs 300 pounds. And it has it takes a 50 amp circuit, 3,000 watt boiler, 2 of them. And, but I roasted my own beans. I bought a small batch coffee roaster, and you could roast about 1.5 pounds at a time. So I learned a lot about coffee from just roasting it, letting it, the gusseted bags I put it in afterwards and sell coffee. The little valve that's in there,
I think Starbucks invented that.
Did they invent that?
Yes.
Well, it was needed because what I learned is that valve's not there, so we can just smell it. Go like squeeze it, and it comes out of there. It's so that the bean can gas out.
Yeah.
Once you roast a bean, and you probably know this, it gives off CO2 for 48 hours. And if you bag it and seal it up without a release valve, it loses the flavor. It doesn't grow and enrich to its potential, and it will not be flavorful. So it has to gas out. And Demitasse cups, Americano, the same thing you're saying. The Americano, which is basically espresso with some hot water, came from our GIs in WW2. Going to Italy, and they's like, coffee, and they brought them some. Well, too strong, but water it down or something. And they were like, Americano, okay, whatever, you Americans. And so it became known as the Americano, which is watered down espresso.
Yeah.
You knew that, I know, I'm sure.
I did not know that.
That intrigued me. And the cappuccino, history of the cappuccino. The Capuchin monks. They would drink, when they were translating the scriptures from Hebrew into Latin, they would stay up at all hours by candlelight, and they started drinking this very strong coffee mixture with some cream in it, and that was a kind of the brown of their robes, a light brown, and it became known as a cappuccino from them staying up doing that.
So Steve,
I'm full of knowledge like that. Don't know why.
We've got a viewer online asking, you do a lot of travel. How many languages do you speak?
Yeah.
I speak 2. Hablo 2. So I got English and Spanish. And I'm a product of the American school system where foreign language is not strongly encouraged.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. I would like to pick up French, and so one of the things on my bucket list is to learn to speak French, just because Paris is my favorite city, and so it's one I go to 3 or 4 times a year, and I don't speak a lick of French.
Wow. I had French in high school. I've mentioned this before, but I had French in high school, and my French teacher was Cuban. Alcides Nunez, imprisoned by Fidel Castro.
Oh.
Taught himself French in prison. And the book that we used was the same book that he used. And even then, that book was 30 years old as a teenager when I was young. I'm like, this is an ancient book. People don't even dress like this. But that's what he knew. And then on into college, as fate would have it, my French teacher in college.
Come on in.
Come on in, Ray. French teacher in college was German, Dr. Wilhelm Schubert.
What's going on, man?
How are you?
Good, man.
You been doing all right?
Man, I'm doing better.
I saw you last week.
Yeah, I'm ain't nothing to brag about.
Nothing to brag about?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I wouldn't call home collect.
Yeah. Rayleigh, do you know Steve?
We met a while ago.
Okay.
Met at the door.
Wonderful. We were just talking about traveling. Steve is a world traveler. He's been to 72 countries.
I've been to 72 states, but ain't but 50 in Texas. I mean, in the United States.
There are 50 states in Texas, probably. It's big as 50 states.
Now, I don't go to the Northeast. I ain't got no reason to go up there.
Do you, have you ever been out of the U.S. and traveled out of the U.S.?
Well, yeah, I've been to Mexico.
Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we went to senior trip. We went to Monterey, Mexico.
To Monterey, I've been there.
That was in 1970. And it's nothing like it is now.
Right.
We went down there, everybody was calm and peaceful, but we had a good time, enjoyed it. There was 8 in my class, and 7 of us had never been in an airplane. We flew from San Antonio to Monterey. It didn't take 45 minutes to get down there, But anyway, we rode an airplane. So we had a great time.
I recall my first trip overseas. I think I was 8. My father loaded up the family. He knew someone outside of Rio de Janeiro at the time, a missionary who was living there near tangerine groves and things. And so we visited them. And I recall the flight there. An engine went out on the airplane.
Oh,
It was a 4-engine prop plane.
Yeah, 3 of them.
2 on either wing, and the engine. This one just stopped working, and I wasn't.
In a circle?
Well, that's what I made a joke at the time. I was about 8 years old. I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna fly." And my dad, who was an airline pilot, it's like it's no big deal. He's got 4, and
It's a little bit of a deal.
he's just gonna feather that prop, and we'll go back around and land, and we'll get on another plane, and we did. He just kept me real calm. I didn't freak out.
Like a duck with a broke leg. All thing you do is go down in a circle.
Right.
One leg is paddling with it.
So Steve, in your travels, any interesting traveling stories like that when equipment malfunctions or?
I have been lucky on flights.
Really?
I've not been on a flight where we've had a malfunction where we had to get off. Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I've not been on a flight where the turbulence was horribly bad.
Wow.
I've been on four flights. I went to Monterey and back, senior trip. And we went to Las Vegas and back, and that's the only time I've ever been.
And how much time were in between those flights?
Doing that?
You said the first flight was in 1970. What year was Las Vegas?
It's a great difference.
It was that just a few years ago? 4 or 5 years ago?
Well,
for the show?
06, 07, whatever the hell it was. 08.
There was a TV show that took the entire town to Vegas.
Cranfills Gap
Yeah,
in Vegas.
you take a poor country boy like me and send me to Vegas. I mean, it was a new ball game. I've never seen so many people, I've never seen so many taxis in my life.
Yeah.
And did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. I've enjoyed more this time because I know what to expect.
Well, you need to go back.
Yeah.
You're due for a plane trip.
But when I went out there the first time, I mean, I was like, what the hell is going on around here? I mean, I don't even know what to do,
Right.
But I would enjoy it now. And I'm starting to know what.
Yeah, when you first step off the plane anywhere that's different, and I'm speaking in another country, having lived in Poland and been around the different areas of Austria and the Czech Republic. It's that acclimation time. Of course, we live there. That first month, it's just, and then once you're there, you realize, okay, that euphoria wears off, and you have to do life.
Yeah.
And so,
but we went out there, and we both come home. I don't remember exactly when, Wednesday or Thursday or something like that, And we got snowed in. They said the first time they snowed in Vegas.
you got snowed in Vegas?
In 20 years, and everybody went crazy, and we go like, "What the hell wrong with all y'all? It's just a snowstorm,
They didn't know how to drive in that.
Yeah, but we got snowed in. We had to spend another night up there. That was the best night that we ever had because they had the whole town in one hotel,
Crammed
and we were all together.
Oh, all of the Gap in the hotel.
Yeah, but beforehand they had 10, 12 people over here, 10, 12 people over here, 10, 12 people over here. We was all scattered out. But the last night we was all together, and that was the best night we ever had. And it was great. And everybody going like, "It's snowing in Vegas,
Yeah.
Big goddamn deal, What the hell's the deal up here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? You take you way over into another state just so y'all can be together, and you enjoy that time.
The last night
than
was the
being
best
separated.
night that we ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
says something about community.
Everybody grouped up together. You walk around, you see somebody you know, and beforehand we just walked around like, "Who are you? Who are you?"
Yeah, you get to know people in your area, which is interesting. So that's an interesting take on our question. What kind of things do you learn? In your case, you learned about the people you live around and grew up with more.
I mean, it was like 100 people of us in one motel, and we all just grouped together.
When he says 100 people, that's half the entire town of Cranfills Gap, folks.
No, it's more than half.
It is more than half.
About 3/4, 7, 8, something like that.
Oh, we had 220 people here. Steve, what is?
Well, most of them are gone, during the week. We don't know.
Right. What is? Speaking of things you learn, what other things do you learn about transportation in other countries? That's different than the U.S. I know what I've learned when I've been over there.
Yeah, well,
Public transportation is.
When I went to Mexico, I'll tell you what I learned. Whoever got the loudest horn wins the interstate.
I
guarantee that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
come straight at you. I'm going to get out of the way. I've been to Mexico, and
we flew from San Antonio to Monterey and got in a taxi cab. And whoever had the loudest horn got to go through the intersection first.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that. And I was more scared than the taxi driver than I was the airplane.
They're aggressive and the defensive driving. It's all offensive and offensive.
And everywhere uses their horn more than we do here.
That's true. But they don't mean to use a horn here. It's like
there's anger.
Yeah, there's going to be more languages.
But everywhere else,
one
they're using
fingered
a
salute,
horn.
stuff like that in America.
Yeah.
But over there, they don't. It's just their nature.
They're getting your attention. That's all it is.
And it's for safety, and they're just being safe all the time because they have to be.
So there's not a hand signal that comes with horn honking like here.
Hey, I'm gonna brag on myself. I got to tell both of you.
Do it.
April 10th, I quit drinking. I ain't had a drink since.
That's awesome, Ray Lee.
Good for you.
Right.
That is awesome.
I'm doing good. It's been a battle, though.
So, Ray Lee, is that part of the reason why you beat me so bad the last time we played pool?
What about the week before, though? There we go.
No. But you were doing really well Wednesday night. I mean, there was like no shaking. You were just like popping those things in the hole.
week before, I still had to shake. I didn't go do
So I'm glad I played you when I did.
I'm doing good.
That's fantastic. Hey, I got a question for you.
All right.
You be willing to play a visitor who's, I don't know, he's even been here before.
I'll play anybody.
His name is Mark. I'm going to have him sit here just for a second. You guys say hi, and then you guys are going to go play some pool. Is that all right?
I play anybody.
Now,
I don't give a damn if I win or lose. I enjoy playing.
Hello, Mark.
Hi there. Mark.
Very nice to meet you,
Hey,
Steve.
Mark. I'm
Hi,
Brian.
Steve. Hi.
Oh, Mark.
Brian.
And this is
How you doing?
Ray Lee.
Hey, Ray Lee.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Mark, where are you from?
Austin.
From Austin.
Yeah.
What brought you to the Toad?
Just left Heiko, actually. They've got quite a party going on.
That's
over there.
right. It's the Heiko steak cook-off. Yeah.
Yeah. So we started there, and as soon as we walked in, they offered us 4 different brands of bourbon for free before we actually got into the Heiko party. And then as soon as we got into the Heiko party, they had free margaritas right there. And this was about 9:45 in the morning. So about 11 o'clock, we decided, well, maybe we better slow down and head to Cranfills Gap.
Right.
It's not much better over here. They went off as free, but you get the drink.
Yeah, they do have quite a selection of spirits here also.
Yes.
Just no matter where you go. So
this is my second or third time here.
Okay, so you've been to the Toad before.
I have been. I've got a friend who lives in the neighborhood, and come and visit him and make sure he's alive. And we just enjoy the sights and sounds of Bosque County, which is unique.
Yeah.
We drove over here on what he was saying was one of the 5 prettiest roads in Texas. Yeah. And on a Saturday afternoon, and the temperature is 69 degrees.
I know it.
And we saw 1 car on the way over.
Right.
It's like, man.
Y'all have any hail weather last night?
Yeah.
We had some good rain. We might have had some little tints of hail, but it wasn't much. I heard of larger hail over by Brownwood. They had tennis size, I understand.
Wow. We had about dime size hail here.
Yeah, marble size.
Yeah.
Miriam and I played last night for we're musicians and singers, and we played at a retirement party just around the corner here, and the equipment got really wet.
Oh,
and at one point we're still playing, and I look around and I'm here on this tin roof above us.
Was anybody running off because of the weather?
No. Everybody huddled in under whatever roof they could in this particular large, beautiful place, and they stuck it out. I mean, everyone was soaked. Matt was there, and he was just spectating. Oh, he has a video. Matt was you were there.
I was there.
You were there too.
Yeah. Was this out at Terry's?
Yeah, out at Terry's. Yeah. And they were drenched, and Miriam and I was like, it's not that wet where we are right now. And then the wind started picking up, but there were some hailstones I saw hitting the car. I'm like, okay, but it wasn't that bad.
Well, what I actually do for a living is I'm a spokesman for the insurance industry in Texas.
Uh-huh.
So I follow all the big major hailstorms in Texas, and tornadoes and hurricanes and wildfires and ice storms and explosions, and you name it. I've probably been there.
How long
recently.
have you done that?
20 years.
Okay.
I'm the guy who puts a figure on the storms.
I was going to go back longer. I was going to go back further than that. I was going to
how
go
far back you want to go?
Abilene, Texas, where I was.
They had a pretty bad hailstorm. They had a really bad hailstorm there about 4 or 5 years ago. That was about $400 million in damage.
1987.
We had a hailstorm in Sydney.
Summer of 87. Summer of 87 or summer of 88. I was living in a rental house off campus. Had this nice Dodge pickup, step side, set it out under the tree, and I'm sitting in the house watching TV, and
that was the first hailstorm.
Somebody just threw something in my house. What? All right, that's what someone's throwing sticks or something. I thought, well, maybe a limb broke off, and it's the wind picking up. It's a little windy, but and then I hear a window break, and I'm thinking,
oh,
all right, that's
mercy.
it. Somebody's. I'm going to
so
go
you
outside.
Finally decided to get up off the couch?
I ran down the hall to see what window it was, and it's in the bathroom. It's a bathroom window. It's little. Got to be kidding me! And I look down in the bathtub, and there's all this like ice, like you just took a scoop of ice from an ice machine and threw it in there. What's going on? Oh no!
So how big was it? Softball?
It was a bunch of little ones.
Wow!
Glued together, fused together from
Right.
Do this action.
Right.
They were the size of. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. That right there.
Yeah.
And just pulverized. I looked out just in time to see one hit right where my windshield wiper connects to the motor, and it went.
Here you go, Brian.
In 76, in Clifton, the guy lived there on the K.O. Road, right where you turn and go on the K.O. Road. This wasn't hail. This was chunks of ice falling out of the sky.
Chunks of ice.
Anyway, it went through the roof and the ceiling and fell on the living room floor.
That's a badass hailstorm when it goes through the roof and goes through the ceiling and lands on your kitchen floor.
And they weighed it.
That's a bad one.
Anyway,
hey, Brian.
14 pounds.
14 pounds.
A chunk of ice. And,
hey, Brian. I'm going to play that video. Here you go.
Oh, here's a video from last night's torrential downpour.
Oh, it is coming down.
That is coming down.
What time of night is this?
This was approximately about 8 o'clock. There's Steve and Jake.
Was you the one about midnight last night? Boy, thunder and lightning and rain.
Look at that. And there's this just spray
it's coming
coming over. It was...
Now, did you have anything to do? I believe there was a tornado that hit downtown Fort Worth in, I want to say April 2000.
2004 or 2000, one of the two. Yeah, I went to that one.
And there was
I went through that one.
You were there?
You driving through it?
I drove through that one.
Wow. Yeah, that was about an F2. Maybe it was in between an F2 and an F3 that started just south of downtown Fort Worth and went into downtown and hit like Cash Pawn Shop or something. There was about an 8-story building that it really just
The windows were
went
just
right
blowing
into.
out of that son of a gun.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was, you have a tornado that hits any type of major downtown, whether it's an F1 or 2 or 0, you're going to have some significant damage.
So, Mark, it's Mark, right?
Yes.
In your travels and what you do, you get, because it's Texas, you don't cover just life and home or auto kind of thing. We talk about there's livestock that gets affected too. Is that part of your area too?
Our biggest concern, we represent the biggest guys: State Farm, Allstate, Travelers, USAA, Farmers, Nationwide, down to Hoheim Prairie, Texas Farm Bureau, Germania, RVOS, other companies that you've heard of.
Right.
So we're more concerned with property damage.
Property.
Okay, the tractors that are covered, the four-wheelers that are covered, the fences, the barns, the homes, the cars, the trucks. Last catastrophe I went to were the East Texas tornadoes up around Canton, east of Dallas, about 100 miles. And they had finally figured out 9 tornadoes go through there. This is about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. A good friend of ours.
And right there on Interstate 20, and sounds like you've done some traveling on some highways and byways in Texas, gone down Interstate 20 through East Texas. There was a brand new Dodge dealership.
Yeah.
It was just about to open up
That's
a
right.
week later.
It looked like it.
They had 150 Dodge trucks and Jeeps. Every one of them were totaled by the tornado.
Wow.
150.
I was out there by Abilene, Sweetwater. I don't remember exactly what year it was. I looked at my left mirror. My trailer wasn't behind me. I looked over the right there. It was over here on the side.
Was it a bull wagon?
Yeah, like a jackknife truck.
I hope you didn't have any animals in it.
I was
It was
empty.
empty.
And then it come back around, it's over here on this side. And I said, oh, shit, this going to be bad out here. But anyway, it all straightened out and we got out of it. But anyway, that trailer was just going from one side to the other side.
Wow.
You ready to play some pool, man?
I'm ready, baby.
I think you guys are up if you're
All
up
right,
for it.
let's go.
Mark, good to
Yes.
meet you.
Very
Thank
nice
you
to
for
meet you.
joining us.
All right.
I can say hi afterwards.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Knock 'em dead.
I probably don't need it.
They're off to start game 1 of the Texas Big Star Live 8-ball showdown.
I think after that, I'm going to play Chris K.
Chris
Chris
K's
K.
in the house.
Chris K's in the
Well,
house.
good. Good.
So,
Always fun.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right.
Did he quiz you a lot? I was eating my lunch.
I did some. I felt like I did more yapping. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just yap.
It is all right. That is the job of the host.
Well, it's to be a good listener too.
This guy was one of the guys when we were talking about even trying Texas Big Star at all. He's one of the guys we were talking to about the general idea. And he's always been a very, very good sounding board.
Yeah.
And encourager and also able to laugh at us when we just have really bad ideas.
Well, I was glad to be a part of that. And I'm always a big fan of doing stuff outside the box. So many people go through life and they check in at 8 and leave work at 5, and they do that every damn day. and that is life, and that just frightens me and kills me.
Frightens you.
Anybody who's willing to get out of that and try something new.
Yep.
I am all sort of supportive for that.
So I know you are. There's no doubt in my mind. But do you ever watch any of these shows? Because you're busy. You're traveling.
I watch bits and pieces here and there. I'm much more likely to watch the Tuesday night music with Brian and Miriam.
That's true.
But yeah, usually I'm traveling on a weekend. So
That's true. Did you guys cover at all some of the interesting places you've been in the last year or two?
No, we haven't gotten to that.
Yeah, we hadn't pinpointed those.
So
Where have you been the last
would
year
you be
or two?
willing to share even just the country names real quick? Because we actually should be watching a little bit of the game to be polite to our friends. But I was just curious, what does that list look like? I have in my head some of the places, but
So in the last year, I have to think about. So in November we went to New Zealand. So wandered around in New Zealand, which is absolutely amazing. They've built a trail system that goes the length of both islands. So if you've got 4 free months, you can hike the whole thing.
Wow.
We were just doing bits and pieces. So New Zealand, I went to Paris because, well, it's Paris.
Paris, yeah.
And then on to Tanzania and climbed Kilimanjaro. Then went on safari in the Serengeti, which was just absolutely amazing because it was like a Disney movie. Just animals everywhere, all kinds of animals.
Now, a visual safari? Not a
not shooting.
Right.
Just
A camera. Yeah.
And it was so much more interesting than you realize. You know, you watch TV and you get sort of a sense of it, but to see it all, you're in the middle of.
they're not actors; they're living this.
Yeah, 1.5 million wildebeest.
Those animals are real.
And you're in the middle of the herd, and like the lions, you don't get the proximity of everything. The lions hunt at night, so during the day the lions are sleeping, and all the animals are within 100 yards or so.
So the song is completely wrong. The lion does not sleep tonight.
No, the lion does not sleep tonight. The lion sleeps today.
Yeah, they're cats. They're up all night.
And so all the animals. So the zebra will have 2 zebra that are doing nothing but watching the lions. There'll be 2 wildebeest just watching the lions, and they're all very close. And so it was kind of interesting and amazing. But I highly recommend safari in the Serengeti.
Very good.
Wow.
Went to Egypt, Cairo, to see the pyramids of Giza, and the pyramids. Certainly they are impressive, because they're very old and they're still there. But the city has built right up to the edge of the pyramid. So every time you see the pictures, it looks like they're out in the desert. But really what happens is you eat breakfast at McDonald's, you cross the street, and there are the pyramids. Literally across the street from the city. So
that's pretty convenient.
Yeah. So that
Egg McMuffin and a pyramid tour.
Exactly. You're eating your cheeseburger while you're checking in to get into the pyramid. So it felt that was a little disappointing in its proximity to civilization. You wanted to be sort of out in the desert where you had to travel on a camel or something. The sandy winds blowing, but no.
But that's there are a few in other places that are that way, but not in Giza.
Not in Giza.
Yeah.
So if you go down the Nile to the Valley of the Kings, you get much more of that. But I only had time to do Giza.
Yeah.
Went to Cuba in April. Cuba, it's like going back to the 50s. So
right.
Lots of old cars, a lot of the architecture.
Talk about cabs. It's a 56 Chevy.
Yeah, so
still there.
There were
and
6
still
of
being
us.
used.
6 of us plus a driver crammed into a 52 Chevy.
52 Chevy.
And it was a 3-hour ride. And the outside of the car looks really good. They do a really nice job of keeping the paint up. The inside of the car is bare metal. The seats are not very comfortable, so it was a horribly uncomfortable ride. And the trunk came open while we were going, but we did not notice for a while. So we lost a piece of luggage.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one of the people in our party lost his passport, and so then it became a deal.
Oh man, that's bad.
Excuse me. And so in Cuba, nobody's cell phone works, and so it really is. It's like being in the 50s, and then you got to get a new passport. Luckily, the U.S. Embassy is now open, so you can get a passport, but
wow,
it's inconvenient.
Yeah, right.
So
that's cool, man. That's a heck of a list. You've been a lot of places.
I do my best. I'm trying to see the world. Life is short. You gotta see all you can while you're here.
Speaking of seeing all we can, that the
wow,
Mark,
is that it?
Mark is sinking solids. No, he's catching up, and it is an even Steven game. Mark is holding his own with Ray Lee, looking for the side pocket of the 1 ball, and sends it there hastily and with accuracy. stepping up to the 8-ball.
Just
Which
the way he struck that makes me think he's played.
he's done this before. Which way do you think he's going with that one?
He's going all the way down.
To the right. He's going to bounce. A bounce and hope. Oh
no!
Oh!
Did he call the right one?
Did he call it?
Did he? Oh no!
He didn't.
I don't think he called that one.
Who?
Oops. Mark, was that the right one?
So it went in, but it wasn't what you call the rules of gameplay.
didn't go in the right hole.
Or you have to, call your shot, and it has to land in that particular spot. So I've lost that way too. Matt has lost that way too. I think all of us have lost. Yeah, but that was good. You hung in there real well with Ray.
Appreciate it. Hey, tell me about your show. How long has this been going on?
This show has been going on since November, and we do it every week. We started off at first on Sunday afternoons, and then we decided to go to Saturday, and for the main purpose of folks like yourself. We get more visitors from out of town and hear interesting stories and learn about them and their travels and things that interest them.
Well, I used to do television in Austin.
Really?
Uh-huh. And covered a lot of wild and crazy things. While we were there, the Armadillo World Headquarters was about to close. And I don't know if you're familiar with that facility, but it was this rock and roll pavilion that was there that was built in, it was actually a National Armored Guard storage area. And anyway, in 1970, a bunch of hippies took it over and turned it into a rock concert area and started serving food. And it went on for 10 years. And it had everybody from Van Morrison to, name it. You know, they all went through there. Bruce Springsteen came through there.
What was the name of the venue?
Armadillo World Headquarters.
That's right. Okay. Armadillo World Headquarters.
And all of the local artists who were Sam Yates, Jim Franklin, Carry On, Michael Priest, Guy Jukes, all these artists did all these posters for the Armadillo World Headquarters, different shows that were going on.
Yeah.
And so they all had their own, you could see that, you know, at some point in time, you could tell the artist and their work, and they're just amazing artwork. And if you ever run across any of those posters, they're all amazing work. I kept a bunch.
Items,
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Kind of like an old hat show print. I'm from the
Exactly.
Nashville area.
Yeah.
Lived out here in Texas, adopted by Texas, but yeah, those are.
I did a documentary on the place called "The Rise and Fall of the Armadillo World Headquarters."
The Rise and Fall of the Armadillo World Headquarters. Now, is that on YouTube?
I don't think you can find it. We never put it on YouTube. I've got DVDs of it. You know, so we didn't.
Someone
put it
may have
on there.
done. Let's get our R&D department on that right now. The Rise and Fall of the Armadillo World Headquarters.
Yeah, I've done other documentaries. I did one on Hurricane Ike. It's the
Hurricane Ike.
It was the costliest storm to ever hit the state of Texas. It made landfall just outside Galveston on September 13th, 2008.
Yep.
I went in there with cameras about 3 months afterwards and interviewed everyone from the mayor to victims to emergency management people, the Coast Guard, National Weather Service, showing the radar and the rains and the flooding and the survivors and what was going on before and during and after. And did it from kind of an insurance perspective.
Right.
But it all kind of see the significance of it. It was one bad storm. The winds weren't that bad, but you say not that bad, 100 miles an hour, but the storm surge was 20 feet.
Yeah.
And wherever a storm surge comes, anything in its pathway is gone. So there's a place called Bolivar Peninsula, which is just outside Galveston. It had 6,000 structures before the storm. After the storm, it had 3,000. The other half were gone. They disappeared.
So we have someone online asking about the 1901 hurricane. Wasn't it the biggest
1900.
natural disaster?
1900.
1900, hurricane in Galveston. Hurricane Ike, by the way, took the same path as the 1900 hurricane, which was unnamed. They started naming hurricanes in 1954. But so here's the 1900 hurricane coming, and it crosses Cuba. And Cuba dispatches communications this way, and there's a story there of somebody on the States heard the distress, going, hey, get ready, you have a bad storm coming your way. And somebody dropped the ball and didn't pass it along to city officials, state officials, what have you. So no one at Galveston Island was prepared for this. And Galveston at the time, 1900, was like the biggest and fastest growing city in the state of Texas because it's a major port. And anyways, everything from, you'll see as much, and I saw this just 2 days ago, 8,000 people to 5,000 people lost their lives in that storm. So it's the costliest storm in U.S. history. There have been catastrophes, storms, typhoons that they call them, in other parts of the country or the world that have hit Thailand and other places, and they've lost, 200,000 people. But in the U.S., it was the 1900 storm. Answer your question.
My.
Thanks.
Yeah, that, I recall Hurricane Ike.
I go down the Texas coast every summer. This will be my 12th annual, and I go there like the last week of August, and we do a hurricane preparedness tour. And I line up every radio, TV, and newspaper along the Texas coast in every major city or medium-sized city and stop there and do interviews talking about hurricane preparedness. And I'll tell people, well, we haven't had a hurricane since in 2008, so it's going on 9 years, There are some places like Corpus Christi that haven't had a hurricane since 1970. So you've got 2 generations of people who've never gone through a hurricane. A lot of them are saying it's never going to hit here. We're safe in Corpus Christi. So, we try to tell people, well, if it does come your way, okay, and maybe you've never seen one, you should get ready to evacuate. You don't want to live through a hurricane. Talk with folks who did, and they go, never again. It's not fun.
Hurricane preparedness on the coast. I went to Mustang Island years ago before Hurricane Ike. Did Ike affect Mustang Island?
I'm sure it did. If it's in the vicinity,
It's south of Padre a little bit, I think.
Well, okay, no. Ike didn't affect. We've got 270 miles of coastline.
Right.
Okay, so Ike hit about a direct impact on about 50 to 60.
Yeah.
Okay. It affected everything from Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange, down to Freeport.
Yeah, that Beaumont area.
It's a $12 billion storm.
12 billion?
12 billion with a B.
With a B.
The next storm that was anywhere near it was like Hurricane Rita, 2005. And that hit the Beaumont, Port Arthur area, and with 120 mile an hour winds. Half the damage was in Texas, the other half was like in Louisiana. But the one big thing about Hurricane Rita was the evacuation. And everybody was trying to evacuate, and we didn't have, the roadways were not set up for it. They had not been prepared. So they had traffic jams that lasted. People would try to go 100 miles, and they'd tell people, it took 13, 14 hours. They didn't have gasoline available. They didn't have rest stops available. They didn't have areas where you could pull off to the side of the road. They didn't have the one-way system working. It was still a two-way, and there were one roadway was shut down, not even being used, And so they've done some work since then. Anyway, it's enjoyable being on your show. Thank you for having me. Is that your camera over there?
Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
I think we're using this one here for you.
Okay.
Straight into that one.
All right. How many hours is your program?
Well, ordinarily it goes usually about 3 hours.
Okay. All right. So we started at
11:30.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes we end it short. Today, I have to drive to DFW and hop on a plane and go to Nashville this evening. So
you playing tonight somewhere?
No, my family's there.
Okay.
They drove up earlier this week. My nephew's graduating high school.
Okay.
That's
All right.
big deal to get to see my brothers and my family. And then I'll ride back with them. So that's what I've got to do. So
drive back to Nashville?
We'll drive back.
Yeah.
My wife and my children drove up
Okay.
there. And
Okay.
I'm going to meet
Gotcha.
them, and we'll drive back on Tuesday.
All right.
So
All
I'll
right.
probably bolt out earlier than 2:30. But
Yeah.
But ordinarily, it's 2.5 hours, 3 hours sometimes.
All right. Okay. So both of y'all, are y'all pretty local here? Or have you moved here?
Steve's a world traveler.
I'm a guest this week.
All right. Okay.
I just
But
happen
he's a
to be
friend
in
of
town.
ours.
Where are you from?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay. All right. Gets cold there, right?
It does get cold there.
AC can get cold. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah.
For stopping in the Toad.
Thanks. Thanks
You're
for
welcome
having me.
anytime. You know we're here Saturdays.
All right. Well, next time I'm in the area. But
time you're in
Horny
the area.
Toad's a nice place.
That's a great place.
Run by great people, owned by great people, good food.
Good food.
And I'm about to enjoy another one of their good drinks, I think.
Well, you go and do that.
All right.
Mark, thank
Y'all
you.
have fun. Have a safe trip to Nashville.
Take care.
Take care.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Just an update on the pool game. Matt Wallace is playing Chris K.
Matt is about to sink the 8-ball. I think he's going for the side pocket. You're right. Playing Chris K. Oh, Matthew is victorious. It's always good to let him win.
Yeah.
Yeah. This makes the show go a lot better.
Someone on the live stream a little bit ago asked about Maasai Warriors. And
The what?
Maasai Warriors.
That was Jan Wallace.
Oh, and so, well, hello, Jan Wallace. The Maasai Warriors, the Maasai is a tribe in Africa, and they, as Africa has modernized, the Maasai has been the tribe that has resisted modernization. And so they are historically a nomadic herding tribe, and so they herd cattle, and they don't tend to have a home base. Over time, they've started building huts as a home base, but they will take their herd and be gone for 3 or 4 weeks at a time, and they still hold the belief that nobody owns the land, that we all share the land, and so the tribe has had to build agreements with existing governments to be able to wander on land, and so they tend to be in Tanzania and Kenya.
There's 38 countries in the African continent.
I want to say 54.
Is it 54?
Yeah. And so the Maasai are sub-Saharan. They're below the Sahara on the eastern side of Africa. So Kenya, Tanzania, that area.
Yeah.
And so they can wander freely in most of that area, except for the government has had to quit letting them come to the Serengeti, because they take cattle into the Serengeti and the lions eat the cattle because they're easy prey. Exactly. And so the Maasai warriors were killing the lions with spears. They do not carry guns. They carry spears. And if a lion attacked their cattle, they will kill it. And evidently are good at it.
Yeah.
And so they were killing enough lions that the government had to tell them not to go into the Serengeti. Yeah.
Talk about throwback.
Yes.
That's not a 52 Chevy. That's a spear.
Because if it were our cattle, we'd be like, it's yours. Thank you.
Yeah. We thought wild feral hogs were a problem.
Yeah, perhaps the people in Bosque County should learn how to hunt with spears and go after the hogs.
They use miniature spears on the end of a bow. That's about. I'd want lots of ammo. Matt, you won that pool game. You barely won.
You're lucky. Did you see any of it at all?
I saw the very end.
Just the last shot.
Oh, God. I messed up multiple times, and Chris luckily didn't put it away. So I'm going to play Ray Lee now.
We're doing the championship.
Kind of. I think I was going to have Chris come over and say hi. They've been, it's wet. We had some weather.
Yep.
And because they're working like an acre worth of land on their garden,
all natural organic farming,
an acre garden. Yeah. They've got stuff. I thought you might be interested to tell you what they've been doing, because he's up here today. He's usually not here on Saturdays, but it's so wet they can't really do anything.
Can't really do anything.
You know Chris Cade? You know?
I met him earlier today.
Okay, cool. I was going to have him come over and say hi.
Yeah,
I'll send him on over.
Oh, yeah.
Do it. Yeah. Yeah, Chris K and his wife do organic farming. We're going to learn some more. Come on up here.
Howdy.
How are you, sir?
Good yourself today? I'm Chris.
Yeah, Steve.
Steve.
So, Matt beat you. That's all right.
Matt beat him. I let Matt beat.
I was about to say.
I let Matt beat me.
You give him enough chances, eventually he will capitalize on at least one of them.
We often have to let Matt win.
See, I thought that maybe wearing my glasses so I could see better would work.
Didn't work?
It proved wrong.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, when you got an easy shot, 8-ball right there by the pocket.
Didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
So
wasn't a good one.
Ordinarily, you're not able to show up on a Saturday because you're working on the farm.
Working on the farm. If it's a clear day, every day is working on the farm.
But because of the torrential downpour that we had last night in certain areas,
we did have, and we had hail too.
Yes, we did.
I had quarter-sized hail.
You did. Yeah, I saw some.
We were worried about the what damage to the crops that it did.
Now, share with us what you guys grow.
Vegetables.
Vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables.
What's in season right now that could be damaged by hail?
Lettuce, tomatoes, squash, peas. Lettuce, tomatoes, squash, peas. Pretty much. The rest of it's underground, so.
Yeah.
We've still got some beets, a few radishes, garlic.
No okra?
Okra's only about that big right now, so it could have got beat up too.
You're growing garlic?
Yes. I decided I want to try something different.
Yeah.
So I ordered some garlic. Now this year is my seed garlic. I ordered like 4 pounds of 3 different kinds of garlic and broke the cloves off.
Right.
You save the big ones to plant, and the little ones you eat and sell.
Yeah.
And then, so I planted garlic, and then this year I'll have, when those come up, I'll break my cloves off and keep the big ones, and that's for my replanting. And
so those cloves are the seed?
No.
No?
No. They also grow and make seed.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so
The
you can
plant
grow
will
them from seed,
Give
but
seed, right.
it's like bulbs. You can also grow it from the bulb, but the cloves are part of the bulb. So.
Right. So do you plant the bulb, part of it, or you just...
You plant the clove.
You plant the clove, yeah.
Right. So you got your bulb.
That's what I thought.
Break it apart.
Break it. It's in 4 or 5 little segments, right?
Well, yeah, more like 10 or 12.
10 or 12 for a big one. Yeah.
Well, a clove is going to have 10 or 12 or so in there, depends on the variety of garlic. I'm learning all this stuff about garlic.
You take one of those and you
plant the clove, and you let it grow, and then now you got another bulb.
Right.
And then you pull those off. And
I've never seen a garlic
So
plant.
do you just
I
get
don't know
one
what that
bulb
looks
from
like.
each plant?
Yeah, one bulb, but each bulb has several cloves of garlic.
Right.
And then the cloves is what you use to cook with.
From each, a plant's only going to grow one bulb?
It grows one bulb.
Ha!
But each bulb.
What does that look like? Can we bring up a picture of, that would be a mature garlic plant?
Yes.
Let's see what that. I'm trying to embrace this in my mind. Are you?
I know.
I'm envisioning the Grinch Stole Christmas, a Christmas tree with one ornament hanging on it.
Let's see. That's what it looks like in the ground. Let's see. Where is it? That's what it looks like in the ground.
So it looked like onions. Yummy.
Yep. I don't have the straw on there though. Mine's more covered with Bermuda.
You grow some good Bermuda out there.
Yep,
okay.
Yep. And then as it's growing, okay, those are still young. So what you're going to want when you know that they're ready is your bottom 2 sets of leaves will turn brown. Okay.
Okay.
And then that's when it's time to pull it up out of the ground.
So so the bulb is underground then. It's okay. It is like a turnip or a rutabaga or
and then close. Go back again. Go back.
And he makes that look as big as sugar cane. Look at that.
And then here.
That's a close up. Pick the one.
Second row. The number 2 on the second row.
Yeah.
Go back to where. So the second row down. Second
That's a good
picture.
one. Okay.
There.
Sure.
Yeah.
Got you.
Put that one out.
That's what they look like. Yeah. That looks like the.
That's a bulb of corn.
Yeah, kind of the common onions that grow up in Tennessee during the spring. They're all over these wild onions. And I used to eat them as a kid.
Well, we've got wild
stink up the
garlic
entire house.
Right, but see inside that you got like a couple of layers of paper, papery stuff, and then you have all the cloves
fibrous
on
tissue.
the inside. And then you save your larger cloves and use those for seed to regrow.
Sure.
Because the large cloves will make bulbs that have large cloves in them. The small cloves will make bulbs that have small cloves in them. And you want the larger ones.
Huh. J Texas Desert Rat doesn't mind okra getting lost to hail. You hate it's like picking fiberglass. Yes, it is.
It
as a matter of
is.
fact.
It's kind of prickly.
That's why they soak it and boil it and make it. Unless they pickle. I like pickled okra.
I like it.
Pickled okra.
I'm not a big okra fan. I don't like the texture.
Pickled and fried.
Pickled.
Boiled, I don't like.
It's not as slimy. When you
Yeah.
pickle it.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
raw's good too.
What is
Raw.
raw okra?
You don't have to
never
cook
had raw
it.
okra.
Yeah.
Tastes like okra.
It's like okra.
Got more crunch to it.
Now, how much acreage are you farming?
We actually plant out about an acre and a half of stuff. That's what we've got tilled up and prepared and ready to put things in onto. We haven't planted quite that. We still got room to put, because we've still got more peas to put in, and we're talking about putting more okra in. And let's see, and then we got the black-eyed peas we still had to plant, and pinto beans, and then, and we've got onions too. We planted about 15,000 onions this year. Yeah, it's a lot of digging.
That's 15,000 onions.
That's a lot of onions.
That's a lot of onions.
A lot of poke your finger and stick it in.
I don't care who you are. That's
So-
just a lot of onions.
So you are doing this by hand?
Most of it, yes, because it's just my wife and I.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've actually bought, and my wife Katrina has bought the lettuce. You guys had like 4 or 5 different varieties of lettuce, and it was just
17.
17. Okay. I'm going to tell my wife you only make 4.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise, I mean, I love vegetables, but honey, how many bags of lettuce do we need? But it was yummy. It was really good.
It's good lettuce.
It was great lettuce, fresh lettuce right off the farm. And
It's got flavor.
It's got.
It's not iceberg.
It's not iceberg, and a good water content, and it's
Got
fresh.
flavor, got
fresh.
flavor. Some of it's spicy. Some
Organic,
of it's
mostly
not.
organic.
It's all organic.
All organic.
Well, okay. We're not certified organic just
Uh-huh.
because there's too many hoops to jump through for
Right.
that. Like we water out of the river. Okay, I pump water out of the river to irrigate with. If I was to be certified organic, I would have to pump the water into a holding tank, let it sit for 30 days,
Right.
and then I could use it. So I would need 30 holding tanks because I'm watering almost every day.
Yeah, it is Central Texas in the summertime.
Yeah, you hit summertime and you're watering every day. So
It evaporates real fast.
yes, yep.
Real fast. I noticed the other day after it had rained.
I like that. Iceberg lettuce is delish. Iceberg has no flavor.
But it does
Sorry.
have it does have lots of water though.
It has lots of water.
Water. Now, are there different varieties that have a different water content? Is that a thing?
I don't know that.
Yeah.
That's a hard question. I'll have to look that
It seems
one up
like to me when
sometime.
I'm eating it, it's like this one has
Different
more
lettuces have different nutritional values. Iceberg has none.
water. Iceberg has no. What is a lettuce that does have
Romaine.
romaine lettuce?
Romaine has your highest vitamins, minerals,
Yeah.
blah, 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 good for you content. Romaine does.
Romaine, it's the highest.
Yes.
Romaine
Yep.
lettuce. I like
Yep.
romaine. I wonder why that
So,
is.
in your 17 varieties, are you growing iceberg?
No. No head lettuces. It's all leaf lettuce.
Leaf lettuce.
You got red and green oak leaf, and then red and green frilly stuff, and
And is that
Frilly?
the Latin name?
frilly.
That's the
Well,
technical
it's because
name?
it's all frilly looking. I don't know what it's called. That's where you need Paula here. She can tell. Oh, well,
She
this is
can tell you.
this, and this is this, and this is that, and this is this.
Ah, I see. Uh-oh. Matt is just sunk the last stripe, and I think he is set to go for the 8 ball. He was playing catch-up. Oh, he pulled it too far to the right,
game's over.
leaving Ray Lee the opportunity to seal this game and bring it to an end. This is the Texas Big Star Live 8-ball showdown, and Ray Lee has the opportunity to be champion again Oh, doesn't happen. Oh, and
I bet he didn't call that pocket
did not
either.
call that pocket. And as a good gentleman does, shakes the hand of Matt and says, "That's just the way it goes. Some days, it'll go in, but maybe
Texas
not
Desert
the
Rat.
pocket that you want."
Was saying he typically plants rocks, good portion of dust,
Rocks, dust.
mosquitoes,
Yeah.
and cactus interspersed.
Well, let's see. Mesquite's good for cooking, and cactus, depending on which cactus it is.
Yeah, you
You
can
got
fry
prickly
those up.
pear.
man.
You got prickly pear. The tunas are good for eating and
You said
making
petunias?
wine. Prickly pear.
Okay.
The tuna.
Oh, the tuna.
The
Yeah.
tuna is the fruit.
Yeah, the fruit, the meat.
Prickly pear.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little red. It's not the flat leaves. You got
Yeah,
the
it's,
little
it's
red.
the red
thing.
bulb kind of thing,
Yeah.
right?
It makes the
Yeah.
seed. To
Yeah.
Make more
Yeah.
cactus.
What do you do with those? Chop? It'd be like Brussels sprouts.
I cut them up and make wine out of them.
Really?
Yep.
You cut them up and then ferment them.
Cut them up into chunks, boil them up in some water, add some yeast,
And then do what?
let it sit.
Let it sit.
Make wine.
Those of you youngsters listening, it's a science experiment.
It is.
It's a science experiment.
Look it up. Find out what yeast makes.
Mommy,
Alcohol and carbon
Billy,
dioxide.
why'd you chop down all of our prickly pears?
Yeah, there you go.
Science project, Mommy. I need yeast.
Yep, it's
For what?
cactus fruit.
My dad say when back in the good old days that they would make moonshine as a junior high science project.
That's a junior high science project. Well, because you have to teach
Need to go to that school.
I don't think they allow that
fermentation,
much.
distilling. That's it's
So
science.
what kind of wine
It's
does
legitimate
that?
science.
The tuna or the what you called it?
Call it a tuna.
The tuna of the prickly pear make. What kind of flavor does that have? Is it sweet as it's?
It's
When
sweet.
you cut it off, is it kind of sweet?
It was the one.
Because it has to have a sugar content, right?
Yeah, well, I add sugar to it.
Okay,
too.
you're adding sugar to it. Okay.
But that was the one wine that I made, that I've ever made, where it actually tastes extremely, extremely close to the taste of the raw fruit. Like, you get grape wine. Well, it doesn't taste like a grape. It's got different flavors and stuff, but it doesn't taste like a grape.
Different
Even
tannins.
plum wine doesn't taste like a plum, but the tuna wine tasted like a cactus.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Well, it was, the cactus fruits do taste good. They're sweet.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can eat them raw. You peel them very carefully because they just have little spiny things on
Yeah.
them.
You're talking about the green flat
Tex.
part.
Not the green
Tex
flat
says
part, the fruit.
just burn off the fine thorns.
Well, I just wear a good glove and peel it. Is what I do.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me that Tex has an opinion on how to make wine.
I think he was talking about eating cactus.
Oh, okay.
Does anyone know what a kiwano is?
A kiwano. Yeah. Hushy love.
You know what a kiwi is?
Kiwano. Don't know, Hushy. Enlighten
No.
us.
What's a kiwano, Hushy Love?
We are stumped.
Well, I guess there's this internet thing that we could probably employ.
up.
Well, I wasn't complaining, Jake. I was
who's-
just saying,
who's the internet
We're not the
driver
only
today?
people. I mean, there are other people probably not as busy as you right
Oh,
now.
I've seen those.
That looks like a
Oh,
durian.
yeah. We call those. It looks like a puffer fish kind of thing.
Yeah.
Tiny puffer fish. Yeah.
That is crazy looking.
And the insides are kind of like a cucumber.
So do you just eat the seeds or do you eat the outside part? Is it like a pomegranate
it
where
looks
you
like
just eat the
pomegranate.
seed?
Yeah, it does have the.
Wrong color, but definitely the same look.
Yes, I do make wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas
Yes,
desert
he
rat. I
does.
can't
Yeah,
imagine. you
desert
making
rat.
wine.
Yeah, ugly fruit. That's what we called them.
Yeah.
Ugly fruit.
Yeah. Ugg fruits.
So, did you guys talk about you singing any today? I mean, has that come up yet? Because I
have.
definitely want. Because there was somebody here earlier that I'm pretty sure wanted to hear you sing, and I thought that was going to happen, but they may have taken off. We were going to have Brian sing some today.
Yay.
I think I
Stairway to
can't.
Heaven would be great.
Stairway
I think that's it.
Everybody get out their lighters.
It's the one song I've never. We played it on our Twitch thing,
gotta
and
work on
I'd
the
never
guitar.
played it before until a couple weeks ago. Of all things, it was just one of those.
Miriam used to play that on the piano
Yeah.
at a pizza place, and like somebody would call that out, think they're being smart aleck, and she'd play it.
Yeah.
There's Tex.
Oh, there he is.
Normal
Same old,
request.
same old.
There you go.
See, now you know what that is. He now knows what that is, what he's asking for. That's pretty funny.
Well, yeah. Let me grab my guitar. I'm gonna go visit a little room,
Okay.
then grab my guitar.
All right,
and then
cool.
We'll. I'll
just-
Well, I'll keep them entertained till you get back.
You know,
Okay.
in Africa, going to a little room, they called it searching for water buffalo.
Really?
Searching for
I'm
water
going to go
buffalo.
searching for water buffalo.
Well,
I like
here at the Toad,
Are
you
you
may
going to
actually
bait
find
them,
a water
bait them with
buffalo.
water?
From a camera standpoint, do you mind sliding over one?
Not at all.
Oh, so we have this thing coming up. Thank you, sir. We have this thing coming up that one of the reasons why I was wanting Brian to play some is that we have been working. This last week, we spent a lot of time working on Music Quest. Did he talk about that at all when I was over there? So, Music Quest is one of the channels we have. It's focused on music, obviously. And we are in the process of trying to launch our first singer-songwriter competition.
Ah.
And so Thursday, we went to Abilene, and I believe we locked in our venue for our Abilene regional contest. So what we're going to do with Music Quest, the singer-songwriter competition, is that we're going to take online submissions, and those people are going to submit videos. They're going to be weeded out, gone through, and then we're going to invite people to regional contests. And at this point, what we're working on is we're going to have regional contests in Denton, San Marcos, Stephenville, and Abilene. So we've been trying to lock in the specific dates because we're going to have the finals of our competition on October the 21st. And that is Bacon Bash. So Bacon Bash is a massive event that happens in Cranfills Gap that basically takes a town of 200 to over 2,000 very quickly. And
Use code word posse.
okay,
That's Paula's code word.
okay. It's a good time and it's a big event. So it starts like formally at 4. Lots of bacon, lots of stuff to drink. But earlier that day, it's on a Saturday, so we'll have our live show here at 11:30 like we normally do. But we probably won't do it from this location. We'll probably do it back in the back over there, other part of the Horny Toad, because we're going to go from 11:30 to about 1:15 or so. Then 1:30 to 3:30 or so, we're going to have the finals of our singer-songwriter competition. Oh. And so the winners will be able to do some stuff outside as part of Bacon Bash, and then the actual grand champion will be singing on the big stage as well. And there'll be other stuff going on. But
Are your finals going to be here in the Toad?
finals are going to be in the Toad from 1:30 to like 3:30.
Awesome.
And then we'll broadcast that as well. So we're going to be recording. Some of them may be live, some of them may not be live. But the regionals and all those locations, those will be good as well. So Brian's going to be our MC for that whole event. And it's important to have somebody doing that obviously is comfortable in front of a camera, in front of the lights, and on a microphone. But in this case, Brian is also a very, very talented singer-songwriter himself. So he will know what these guys are going through. I'm sure he's been in a number of competitions. And so he will be MC of that. And a lot of people don't know about the contest, or they don't know about Brian. And so as they learn about the contest, they may have no idea who Brian is, but at least they can see, now this guy knows what he's talking about. He's not some Yahoo.
Right.
Those aren't mutually exclusive. He is a Yahoo, but he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Harris. Dr. Harris, sorry. Ooh. No, hold on. We figured out, what was your whole title again? No, he's got a heck of a title. It's an awesome title. Is it Sir? No. Is it a Sir? No, it's not Sir.
I prefer Laird.
Laird. Lord. That's what, Laird. Okay,
because it's Scottish. So the
Scottish.
Scottish lord is Laird.
Okay.
So Laird Dr. Stephen Harris, Esquire.
There you go.
Gracious.
Did you know that?
And I worked so hard just to get a Mister in front of my name.
So he's a laird or lord in Scotland, owns some property there.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's,
I own 11 square feet of land.
Hey, there you go. Has it got a
Scotland.
castle on it?
Not yet. I'm going to go over and put a tiny castle
You're going to
on.
need a key to protect it.
Exactly. Might dig a little moat around it.
Yeah.
so he's that, and he's also a doctor.
Yeah.
Got his doctorate from Harvard last year.
Yeah.
So he's a doctor, and he's also Esquire. What is Esquire?
Attorney.
Attorney. So he's Esquire. So
Wow.
Yeah.
he's got some serious titles, man.
Yes, overeducated.
So
Overeducated, underutilized.
Exactly.
So Brian is a singer-songwriter and will be MC for our Music Quest singer-songwriter series. We're going to be posting all of the details on how to enter that and how that's going to work as soon as we lock in the regional location and dates. So we've got 2 of the locations locked down. We've got 2 more to lock down.
Yep.
And then we'll be getting that going pretty soon. And some people do, but some people don't realize the expertise that Brian brings to that whole venture. So there'll be an opportunity. I mean, he sings. He did the Seagulls. They're always asking him to do all kinds of fun stuff. On Tuesday nights, we do a live broadcast from our studio where Miriam and Brian basically take requests. You've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so specializing on 70s and 80s, but they cover a lot more. You ever listen to anything in the 70s and 80s, Chris?
Gee, every once in a while.
Going straight into here.
Like if it goes past the 80s, I really don't know what it is.
Phantom Power, yeah.
Actually, do a lot of 50s and
It's either
60s
or,
and
and I'd probably
70s
go
and
for
80s.
This one.
So one of our viewers was asking if at Bacon Bash we'll have the bacon grease shots. Will they be bringing those back?
I don't know.
I think all the lawsuits from the last time have cleared up, and so they may try it again. Yeah, it's really good the one time you do it.
You haven't been? Have you been to the Bacon Bash?
I have not been to Bacon Bash.
Dude,
I'm excited to be there this year.
Dude, I want Steve to be there. He may be helping us out.
I love
with,
all things bacon.
We had some people that they bought tickets, fortunately from us, and came to Bacon Bash and just had a blast. Didn't think that they were going to have that much fun. It ended up. We've got one guy that said his bum was sore from dancing so much. He'd never danced that much in his life.
Yeah, that's a good time, man. If you want to have a good time, this is a place to do it.
Good. Yep. Bacon Bash is the place to do it.
So, Brian, I asked you to sing an original. You don't have to sing an original, but I thought that might be kind of fun.
Well, when you said that, for some reason, I thought of this song that I've never played.
Really? No, you'd written it in your head.
No, it's written, and I recorded a demo of it years ago.
So you did play it at least once.
I played it at least once, and then, I'll write a song and go, oh, yeah, I've never played this. Just quoting Joe Walsh, just because we wrote them doesn't mean we know how to play them.
Right.
Right. That's why they practice.
But you've remembered enough of it to give it a shot.
I think I've remembered enough of it to do something. Yeah. I heard a rumor, or maybe it's a fact. You might be looking for someone to help you bounce back from a lover's spat. Yeah, a broken heart. All I got to say, baby, is when can I start? I'll do your laundry, I'll do your taxes, do you righter than right. As a matter of fact, lasso the moon, pull it down from the sky, long as I can be your guy. I'll learn some Spanish, not just the dirty words, the ones you've never heard, like tú es mi destino. I'll get a tattoo if you want me to. with a picture of me and you and a heart that says forever. I'll do your laundry, I'll do your taxes, do you righter than right. As a matter of fact, lasso the moon, pull it down from the sky, long as I can be your guy. I'll do your laundry, I'll do your taxes, do you righter than right. As a matter of fact, lasso the moon, pull it down from the sky, long as I can be your guy. I think that's how it went. I might have added a different Spanish phrase. I don't know. Those of you who speak Spanish, I hope I did that right.
What did you say? It was very dramatic, and
you were my destiny.
Big Marty McFly.
Density,
Yeah, Marty McFly reference. Oh, that's good, man. I've never heard that. Is that the first time you ever played it?
That's the first time I played it live, yeah.
Good
I had
deal,
to go
man.
back a couple of years and recall that one.
So when you write a song, just hit you, sit down, I'm writing a song, collaborate, you do all of it. You've tried all of it.
Yeah, I used to do those in Nashville, what you call songwriting appointments with other writers. And honestly, I learned a lot from that, in that you bounce a collaborative effort. You're getting different ideas and a fresh new approach. But I haven't collaborated writing-wise in a long time, probably 13 years now. Because most of the time I did that, it was, hey, let's get a room either at the ASCAP building downtown, where if you're an ASCAP writer, BMI has them too, and CSAC, and they have these writers' rooms you can go to. It's part of the privilege of being a member of those societies, and a lot of times it was just staring at walls, like, I had this idea, and something just clicked years ago, and I realized, hey, I'm gonna take the ideas that I have, and now they come to me pretty quick. And usually the first question is, well, which comes first, the melody or the lyrics? And for me, the answer is yes. Usually there's a melody with lyrics, and that usually is what we call the hook of the song.
In your case,
and it's odd, not everybody does that, but for me, I spout out the hook of the song, the title, and a melody comes with it, pow, and I'll wrap the rest of it around that. Just you weave a story, you working backwards many times.
In your case, though, it seems like to me there's a very real possibility that once that's happened, you have to pause for a second and ponder what genre is best for this song, because you can take a good song and countrify it, or funk it up, or whatever. You can decide to go different directions. Okay. So sometimes it's obvious. That song was a little bit more country than stuff. That was
probably one of the more country things that I've written, and it came out that way, very George Strait-ish. George, this could be your next hit.
There you go, buddy. Texas Big Star Live. You think George qualifies as a Texas Big Star? Do you think?
Many times over. Yeah, they don't call him King George for nothing. Yeah. So,
let's see.
Yeah, it's.
Can you do my favorite person? What's that? Is that a song? Does that ring a bell?
Oh, favorite person. That's speaking of a different sound, a different. Your favorite person just walked in. You may not have recognized them, still turning heads and catching eyes, though their favorite person said goodbye. They came from you a long time ago, under the butts out in the cold. So out of sight and out of mind, and now their favorite person looks surprised. Yippee-ki-yay, and here we go, no longer in your rodeo. I was your dandy for a day, went away. Ooh. Ow, 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 ow. I wish I had a harmonica. I told my troubles to the Lord. He said, son, put away your sword. I'm all you need and all you are. Your favorite person's now in charge. Yippee-ki-yay, here we go. No longer in your rodeo. There's someone new and someone kind. Your favorite person ain't blind, not blind. Fee, fee, fi, fo, fo, fum. Well, I'm not the lonely, lonely one. Somebody new and someone kind. Your favorite person's not the same. Yay. That's favorite person. That's a rendition of it.
Yeah,
very nice.
did you throw in a different verse? Is that an original verse, like 3 in? I don't remember that verse.
Which verse?
Who did that? Is that your song? Who did?
Yeah.
That's your song.
Pretty sure, yeah.
No, see, okay, the thing
copyright
is,
says anyway.
okay, no, I get it, but see, here's the problem. I've heard you do that enough
That you think?
that I just thought it was a cover. I didn't realize it was your song.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs.
5,
I
6
love that
years ago.
song. I didn't know what the name of it was.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I didn't even know that it was a song of mine either.
That's a.
At a certain point, I kind of forget what I write, but if it weren't for Hushy Love there, I wouldn't.
Yeah, he called it out, man. He requested it, but
I wouldn't even know my own stuff.
I honestly did not know that was your song. It's one of my favorite songs. I've heard you do it enough that I recognized it.
Yeah.
I knew exactly when you went into it what it was, but
Right.
I don't think I've ever listened to the verses.
Yeah, I may have augmented one of those verses. Sometimes verses slip me. It's just
What's your
live
song,
TV.
man?
Yeah, you can say
Dude,
you can sing whatever you want.
Sing whatever you want. Matt, it's your show. You can remember whatever you want. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, you're right. Stylistically, for me, I write for the song, and that's kind of good, and blessing and a curse. Sometimes you just wish, I wish I would just write this style. That way, it's simplicity, but that's not the way I was designed, and so you roll with it. You just kind of go.
Definitely
sometimes
rolled
it's
with it.
rock and roll. Sometimes it's folk. Sometimes it's pop kind of stuff. And country.
That was good, man. That was real good. And I guess I learned something I had no. I will never forget. That's
never
definitely your song. Favorite person.
So when you are writing, and you get to the end of a song, how do you decide if it's a song worth keeping or if it blows?
Years ago, I decided that when I get to the end of the song, it's going to be a good song. After you've done it a while, you can tell. It's kind of like constructing. I can only make it. It's something akin to making fine furniture. You know what I mean? I know some people that do that, and when they first started off, it's like I just wanted to make a straight spindle, a straight chair leg. It's like no, start over, and then the more you do it, you can recognize what stuff is just what we call in the industry, or what a songwriter friend of mine that kind of taught me the craft. His name is Marty Parker. Great guy. Wrote for years with Sony Tree Publishing, at the time, largest publishing company in the world. He says, the lyrics, is that a strong lyric? Is there something stronger? The songwriters are saying the same old thing in a new way. That's the challenge. And for me, it's I've done it enough, so yeah, I can go, nah, there's something stronger. And I've set songs on a shelf for years. Several, like 5, 6, 7 years, and just kind of went, no, it's not strong enough. I'll let, and then it'll come back to me, and I'll have whatever I needed in that span of time to go, now I know what that song needs to be about. It's just a lot of living, I guess, that goes within the lyrics.
Well, I definitely am thrilled to know that that was your song. Like I said, seriously, that's just weird to have known a song that well and not realize that you wrote it.
Oh, well,
I like that one.
glad I could.
That's fantastic.
Glad I
So,
could help out.
dude, you got to catch a plane.
I do. My bags are packed. I'm ready to go. Standing here in the Toad, staring at a camera. Gotta go. So,
I'm not going to kiss
don't
you.
kiss me, man, but smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never.
Maybe
like
later.
You'll never let me go.
A little later.
Little bro cuddle. Little bro cuddle. Mm.
You should go see your wife.
Bro, cuddle. So yeah, I do have to hop on a plane. You have to drive to Dallas Fort Worth, and then hop on a plane. But yeah, I hate to leave. I did want to mention one thing. The fabulous Horny Toad Bar and Grill has now added, and Miriam has let me know of this special spice, salty spice on their fries. What are they calling them? Is there a name for them, Miriam? Frank's, as in Frank's red sauce.
I don't know.
Seasoning. They make a seasoning, and that is going on.
Seasoned fries.
Seasoned fries, and they're yummy. I saw the empty container that Jake left there. It's behind the Dublin, and I was just reminded that if you want fries, special pomfret. The Toad, Horny Toad. Peace out.
I don't know if I really appreciate the way this last question was worded. I think Texas Desert Rat wants to know, the burning question is if you write most of your music on the toilet. That's I don't think it's a comment on the quality of what you've done. I'm just truly inspired. Or
the burning question.
That's what I heard. Thank you very much, Desert Rat. You are consistent.
The burning question. Remember,
you are
Frank's spicy fries.
Yes.
The burning question.
Yep.
Thanks for connecting those
Yeah,
dots for me,
full
buddy.
circle. Full circle.
Full circle. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show today. I'm talking to you.
Oh, well, you're very welcome.
Brian, thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, isn't he always here?
Brian's packing up, so he really does. I told him I would want to get him out here before 2, and it's gotten it close, and that was my fault. So, guys, thanks for being with us today. We're going to go ahead and call it. We'll say thank you to Dublin Bottling Works. We visited with them this last week on the way to Abilene, and fantastic. We were hoping to visit with our friend Lexi. She's in Europe today, and didn't work out. She got off the train. She was looking for Wi-Fi. Didn't work out. So you have a good, safe trip. We'll catch you next time. And we want to say thank you to Board Gamer, our friend in the UK, Star Citizen comrade, fellow Star Citizen, and all the people that have been online. We thank you so much for chatting with us. It's just been a pretty laid-back day, and I'm super thrilled to have heard Brian sing a song I didn't know he wrote. So what else we got, Jake? What are we missing? Say what?
We should roll an ad.
We should roll an ad. You know, the thing is that we always love Hot Ash Stove. And if you haven't seen one, you need to just look at the commercial. We're getting ready to roll. Check out the website. Check it out. And buy yourself a Hot Ash Stove for yourself or for a friend. And if you do it at /TX, which you'll see on the screen later, you will be letting them know you got it because of Texas Big Star. So why don't you go ahead and roll that ad there, buddy, if you don't mind.
We can put crap in my truck.
It's a great comeback line. There you go, hotashstove.com/TX. That gets you a discount code to save you a few bucks. And that, like I said, that lets them know where you got it from. And we appreciate Ernie and the whole crew. They've been with us from the very beginning, and it's important to have friends when you get started on something like this.
Yep.
Profound. So, any final words, comments? I mean, tell everybody.
So do you have an official sign off like the evening news?
I don't, because it's usually Brian, but Brian's running to the airport. So
what's Brian? What's your usual sign off?
No, he doesn't.
Oh yeah, bye. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to see everybody. Once again, a great time on a Saturday here with Texas Big Star. Take care.
Yay! Well done. Well done.
Thank you, Steve. Oh, I did you laugh.
My ship's